zone, breaking it down from her comfy throne. Smart as hell with a side of flair, politics sass and a killer stare. Easy's lurking tail in the frame, chat's already playing their games. That target day, sharp and bold, hot takes drop while the chaos unfolds. Truth with bite filled in the way, still showing up every streaming day. Brains and vibes, she leads the pack, now buckle in, no looking back. That dark night, let's go!
Good afternoon, evening, morning to everybody. It's morning for most people, right? Even if it's way too late for you guys. I can't believe you're still awake. Hi, Zaxi. Davina's probably fallen asleep by now. Cameron is also probably sleeping. At least Groovy's probably awake because of time zones. But yes, thoughtful and serious Kitty here for today's stream, because we are doing a thoughtful and serious dive into mainstream media versus alternative media. Another Peter Boghossian session. I'm excited for it. I do enjoy these. Still owe you guys a bit of a pontification, I suppose, on how Peter Boghossian runs his sessions. And I remember I was reading his Substack about it, so yeah, I still owe you that stuff. Yeah, I just am happy to be going into something just thought-provoking today. I may be far. Okay, so we've got Artoria's new latest pickup line, guys. I may be 5'2", but Kitty is fine too. You're rhyming 2 with 2, so it's not working that much. But you know what? Still, good times, Artoria. I'll take it. Right, yeah, I guess we'd be going. Boo, Artoria. Next time. Hey, look, listen. Okay, it's not Monday. I'm feeling like it's Monday because we skipped yesterday. You know what? Speaking of skipping. So yesterday what I did was I was continuing to edit the Marcus Aurelius video for the members. Sorry for you guys, you won't get it if you're not a member. And it's actually much longer than I expected. So yeah, it's taking longer to try and figure out how long I'm going to make this video. It's going to be about half an hour. It's looking like it's going to be about half an hour, and I wanted it to be like 20 minutes. How long is too long? Half an hour. But either way, yeah, that's still pending. I'm just glad to see you guys. I'm glad to be back streaming. So, also, yeah, if you saw Zaxi's stream on Sunday, well, it was Saturday night for them. I also wasn't feeling too good. So let's try and keep it together. Let's see how many strokes I'm gonna have today. Let's get into it. Oh yes, let's get our music started. Let me know if audio is scuff. You guys know how to do that. I depend on you for this. But it seems like, okay, the audio goes scuff if you leave the program on for too long. So I just have to restart Steel Series if I leave it. Anyway, you guys don't need to know this stuff. I can just get my shit together and we can get going. I hope everyone's doing well. Kitty is off the couch and onto Destiny. Okay, no, I'm not on him. I was a trooper on COJ. Listen, it was in the beginning it was really tough. But then, so tough that when we went over the black comedy joke, the clip, I wasn't even laughing that much. And that one is it's a classical one. But then it got better after that. So, but what did Jax just post? I've had that problem screen sharing long videos, movies. With still series, like, yeah, after 1 hour, the audio just starts to die and I have to reshare. Yeah. It seems like, I don't know, with still series at least, still series GG. It goes like when we did, when I was, what's the naming, moderating, the audio just kicked off. It screwed itself up. Okay, no steel series though, I have no idea what happens. Okay, so that's just normal. It's hardware maybe. But the exact same issue, yeah. But what it does it just starts going shh, basically. Alright guys, it's taken Stream Elements bot it's taken its time to get to us today. So I guess now that it's around, we can do it. It is what I just posted, but ending with that question mark, so I'm basically implying anything. Okay, what are we? This is not Slop Fridays, but you guys are making me curious. Is off the couch and onto. Oh, it's what you posted. Okay, I see there. And I've got a very serious face when I get on Destiny. Interesting. I guess he's into that. Okay, let's get on to Destiny, guys. So we've got a coming up. Not full screen layout. So let's just. That's not going to be part of our diagram. So let's go. There shouldn't be echo. I've sorted it out. So let's see. Okay, I'm not taking credit for Zax's work. Yeah, you better not. There is no audio? Okay, let's see what's happened. You know what? You don't need to hear them. They're arguing. They're not arguing badly. Okay, hold on. Yeah, put it there. Oh, hold up. This might be because of StreamYard. Hold on. Don't worry, guys. It's because I was being safe. Let me know if shit goes wrong. Is it okay? Testing your speakers in StreamYard. Sounds like they're working. Okay. It should be fine now. You should be able to hear everything. The background music, nothing. Sorry I always disappoint you. I'm sorry I always disappoint you. I'm actually... it's because of what I was doing. It's actually Zax's fault. Because I wasn't using StreamYard. I wasn't using GG in the beginning. Hey, Creamage. Okay, you guys should be able to hear it. Let's go. Let's do the coming up bit.
Like, don't you think people might be worried about publishing a poll now because they don't know if the president is going to try to sue them in court?
No, absolutely not, because how is he intimidating anyone?
By threatening to sue you if he doesn't like your poll?
Well, that's what the left has done continually.
Where would you go?
Oh, this Destiny is being very polite. I'm happy about that. We can have better conversations that way.
For your opinion about your heart troubles, the 5 expert doctors or the fact checkers at the New York Times?
Probably.
You guys can hear now, right?
5 expert doctors,
Yeah.
but the New York Times aren't recommending me medical treatments, but they
Except
are
in
on
the case of
community
COVID,
notes.
yeah.
Except for what?
Except in the case of COVID, I think there was a whole bunch of fact-checking that was going on.
Okay, so it seems like... No, I can't hear you. Are you for real? I'm sorry for sending you this. Destiny is just awful. He's not that bad. You're mean. You're mean, Corona Capture. I'm so for real. No, I can see what y'all are hearing. I can see what y'all. Let me monitor. Hello? Yeah, I can hear. You shit. Okay. Gosh. Okay. So anyway, yeah, we've got a bit of. I'm gonna trust. Yeah, I'm gonna trust. Who can I trust in the chat?
In the New York Times when it came to
They were fact-checking claims, but generally it was the CDC and the NIH.
Anyway, so it seems like they are going to get into talking about fact-checking versus where you go and get your... Where do you get your information? And we're gonna get back to COVID as a discussion point. Good times.
NIH, or you could listen to Joe Rogan.
Spectrum Street epistemology, let's go. Is your chair vibrating? Is your leg going well? Oh, that's my leg. I should have a leg cam. My leg does not stop. It's usually my right leg. And yeah, I've got, I suppose it's not exactly restless leg syndrome. It's just, I do that no matter what. So you guys should know by now what's happening. Okay, so for anyone who's new, my leg is going up and down. I would not recommend a leg cam unless you listen. My legs are covered up actually right now. So yeah, basically, it's my right leg. I should try and keep it. Look, I do have a step machine under my desk to try and keep my legs busy. But yeah, it doesn't. I should do a standing stream, then I'll keep my legs. Oh, I also do this with them. I just realized they're doing it now. Okay, are we done? We're done. Look, talking about the legs. I'm blushing. Let's go. Let's get serious. How am I supposed to break up this in the timestamps? Like, oh, sorry, we started. Then we started talking about my legs. Leg cam and you'll be rich. I need to do a lot more squats before I do a leg cam. Okay.
The Trump administration is engaging in censorship. Move.
Because I'm blushing because I'm blushing because I know how bad it looks. Okay, I know how you know, how unsavory it looks. Okay.
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are
Okay, what are we asking about?
The Trump administration is engaging in censorship. Move.
The Trump administration is is engaging in censorship. So, by the way, if we go to our diagram, our mind map, because that's what we're doing when it comes to this, I'll be creating for every prompt. It was very nice to do his last version of that. His last that other session we did. It was really cool to do it this way, having a mind map. It was quite easy to do. So okay, the Trump administration is engaging in censorship. Is it censorship, right? Just making sure. Let's put R.
Move.
I was
Yeah, censorship. The way he says move gets me very scared. I'm like, okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's go back to full screen for you guys so we don't have to deal with the mind map the whole way.
Trump administration is engaging in censorship. Move.
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable.
Stephen.
Okay, so he played. I don't know if it played for the people in the room, but there is a reference. That was a bit Canadian of you. It's because you're here. Music is a little loud, kitty. Thank you. Wow. How is it? You see, guys, it's still at 2%. Creamage is wrong. It's still at 2%. So look, I'll bring it down in the app, but that seems to not make a difference. Okay. Creamage is wrong. I think you just don't want to hear my voice. Corona capture. Okay. So, played a bit about, sorry, going back.
By outlets in this room, we are going.
White House defends blocking AP reporter from Oval Office. Okay. Clip. I'll put a clip. Okay. If anyone wanted to hear typing. No, really, music was fine. I don't trust you. You know what? You have a wrench, but I don't trust you, man.
To hold those lies accountable.
Stephen? And why don't you decide among yourselves who wants to go?
So Stephen is on agree, I think.
The Trump administration is engaging in censorship. I'll let you begin.
Silly, and then a real example, I think it's very silly.
He loves that. Silly. Okay, so we got Stephen. Oh, thank you, Barmy, for the 5 memberships. Thank you so much. I hope you are a member so that you can. I've got such great feedback for Marcus Aurelius, so you guys can go and watch the whole video. The whole video. You can just put it on like 2 times speed and you'll be fine. Destiny. I can't remove stuff from that. Okay, Destiny is on agree. Barmy Mbop. Yes, this is true. We can let me just pause our background music and we can play Barmy's Mbop for rejoicing. Barmy Mbop.
Yo, Barmy. Let's fucking go! Whoa! Ooh, yeah, yeah.
Marcus hates you? You don't know that.
Fucking bop, yo.
Only if you did. Right, guys, there you go. Badubada for our Barmy. That is courtesy of Creamage. Creamage is out of control with AI tools, man. He started creating images and videos and things. It's a problem, but also not. We enjoy it. Thank you, Creamage. Your Barmy. He's our Barmy. Yeah. What is going on? We were enjoying a good old song. Because Barmy did a 5 gifties. Wake up, Lord Cameron. It's not that late.
That I think the
Okay.
AP.
I'll let you begin.
Silly, and then a real example, I think it's very silly that I think the AP has now been refused like White House credentials because they won't call it the Gulf of America instead of the Gulf of Mexico. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Okay. That is such a cute laugh. But Peter, look at Peter's face.
Because they won't call it the Gulf of America.
Look here, look. Okay, so he's serious and then he's like, oh, that's pretty silly, yeah.
Instead of the Gulf of Mexico. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
Oh, cute, man. Okay. He's like, yeah, you getting this? You getting this? It's true. It's true. It's funny because it's true. Okay, so example of, I think it's, for refusing to call it the Gulf of America. It's lies, lies.
Ridiculous. For an actual, like a really troubling thing, aside from all the other court cases that Trump was involved in, the one right now where he's suing Seltzer because he didn't like her poll, I think is one of the most egregious breaches of freedom of speech in the United States. I think that's an insane thing that a president would sue a pollster.
Okay, so he's giving us examples that refusing to keep that reporter in or a certain reporter. Then we've got the Seltzer pollster being sued by Trump because he didn't like her poll. Apparently, this is how he's characterizing it. So I'll put it in his. I'll put it in his part of the mind map. He didn't like her poll. So I don't know exactly what that is. Let's go.
Because he didn't like the poll.
Well, he's not suing because he didn't like the poll. He finds that he has proof, substantial proof, to take it to court to determine the fact that things were manipulated.
He doesn't like the poll. Okay, it's not that he doesn't like. So look, there is a counter argument by. I don't know. I wish they had name tags. Okay, counter argument guy. What are we gonna call him, guys? What shall we call him, chat? We had Silver Fox, and now the only Silver Fox on screen is Peter Boghossian himself, so that's not gonna work. What are we gonna... Golf shirt man? Yeah. No, everybody, I mean, anybody with a golf shirt. Guy in the back has a golf shirt, but he would be called Steve. Okay, fine, we'll just call him Steve. Steve. Nickname. Okay. Soccer dad. Oh, I like that one, Granola. Okay, Steve, soccer dad. But Destiny is Steve, this is true. So yeah, I think that's right, Cameron. Destiny Steven, because that's his actual name. And call Destiny Steven? No, I will not. Make me. Destiny loves the poll. Stop, guys. Disappointed dad. Soccer dad's the same thing. Okay, soccer dad. I think I'm disappointed cricket fan. That is my favorite. Disappointed cricket fan. I want him to be a character on a debate. Call him Synthesis. Soccer dad. I'm gonna have to put little screenshots of them. Hold on. Cynthia. Hold on. I've actually got quite his picture here. Sorry, I'll show you guys on the diagram here. He does really look like disappointed soccer dad. Okay, guys, this is not Slop Fridays. None of this. Okay, we're good. Soccer dad. Oh, Zach's going. Oh no, you guys are all just saluting Zach's is funny. Bazza for the Aussie guy. Well, let's see. We'll see if he lives up to the Bazza. Okay, soccer dad. His counter argument here is no. It's not that. The only person who gets the Chinsia Noma or whatever has to be female. At least female, guys. I will not tolerate this disrespect. Okay, it's not that. He didn't like it. It wasn't very well worded, his response, yeah? He didn't like it. He has proof. Proof? How does he... that things were manipulated. It's interesting, though, I suppose, if you're suing for defamation or something, but what is Chinsia? Who is Chinsia? Chinsia is my name, guys. Hi. Chinsia is my name. Hi. Doxed myself. How do you spell Chinsia? There, this is how you spell it. Cinzia. Yes, that is how you spell it. It's an Italian name. Okay. And you say it, Cinzia. So if you are angry at me and you say Cinzia, then I'm going to be like, yes. Okay. But usually you say it English. If you say it English, it's Cinzia. And that's usually how I say it to myself. I thought your name was Kitty. that is my my spiritual name. She just couldn't spell it Cynthia like a normal person. The Italians couldn't do it that way. Chin-chinnery chin-chin, guys. Let's not talk about the meaning of chin-chin. But there's actually a restaurant called Chin-chin here. So anyway, it's not that he didn't like it, he's proof that things were manipulated. Okay, you guys all good on my name? You good? And needs my Target gift cards, he'll lose his job. Oh yes, he'll lose his job because he put an extra 0 into the refund, huh? That's the name of my fist, Chin-Seer. When I tell people how to say my name, it's Chin-See. Ah! So you see me and you see how it goes? That's a good way to remember it. I suppose a deaf person would learn that. That would be my name.
He has no proof of that.
Well, we don't know until it gets to the court system and we find out.
we don't know until it gets to the court system.
That's a nice excuse, but then how do you differentiate between that versus him just weaponizing his power as president and the courts to intimidate people to create a chilling effect on speech in America? Like
Chilling effect. So, okay, let me follow you here. He's just like, no, we get it to the courts. It seems like his opinion is, it's okay, the truth will come out in the courts. So, there's no proof of that. So I think Destiny's thing was that there's no proof of that.
don't you think people might be president in the courts?
That's a lot to unpack, Destiny. Destiny will always have a lot to unpack because he's always going to speak at 3 times the speed of anyone else.
Well, we don't know until it gets to the court system and we find out.
He has no proof of that.
Well, we don't know until it gets
He
to the
has no
court
proof, so it just basically, he's got proof. Also, sorry, Soccer Dad, hun. You just said he has proof, and then Destiny's like, no, he doesn't have proof, and he's like, well, we'll see in the courts. It's like, well, suppose you changed your tune there, or you just like, well, I'll show you at the court, I suppose is what he means. Wouldn't want him to just change his mind because Destiny said. But hey, anyway. Salsa, there is no proof of this. No proof of manipulation. Okay. And basically he's saying it, listen, it's a weaponization of his power. Okay. Boghossian is like, let's have fun. And Destiny's like, yeah. Destiny is anti-fun.
system and we find out.
That's a nice
Court system, we'll find out that.
excuse, but then how do you differentiate between that versus him just weaponizing his power as president and the courts to intimidate people to create a chilling effect on speech in America? Like, don't you think people might be worried about publishing a poll now because they don't know if the president is going to try to sue them in court?
Okay, so this his problem is, look, no, it's creating a bad precedent, I suppose. Abuse of power to intimidate. Who may have wanted to post similar polls, or just any poll.
No, absolutely not, because how is he intimidating anyone?
By
Ooh, how is he intimidating anyone? Well, Destiny's made it clear.
threatening to sue you if he doesn't like your poll?
Well, that's what the left has done continually.
Can you name one example
threaten the right.
of the president, of a Democratic president, or even lawmaker?
It's so weird to see him standing and doing these things. Hey guys, my left leg's doing some work now because of the way the way I'm sitting. I've kept the right one under wraps, and the left one's like, okay, fine, I'll do the. Okay. Just so you guys know, leg update's over.
Suing.
Continually.
Can you name one example
threaten the right.
of the president, of a Democratic president, or even lawmakers suing a pollster because they don't like the...
Okay, so it's unprecedented by the president. How's he intimidating? I don't think so. I think it is quite intimidating behavior, especially if you're gonna view it that way. It's petty behavior as well, but yeah, I guess he's always been litigious, but that doesn't make it right. You were on 10 toes, thank you. I know you needed to know.
Poll?
No, it's not because he doesn't like the poll. It's because he believes he has the facts proving that it's unsubstantiated.
Yeah, but none of that has been presented to the American public.
I'm interested, how does a poll is a question. So what was the poll, guys? Because for me, a poll is a question. It's about an opinion. Is he saying, okay, was Trump's contention that the results of the poll, I suppose that's what you can say, the results of the poll were wrong. So it's a lie, and that's going to change the people's perception. Okay, I understand. So that's something you can get. It's still kind of petty, but you can get litigious about. Then I guess what you totally missed the question. I don't know what the poll question is. Okay, my question was, what was the poll? It's America, he could always sue people. Exactly. But then the counter argument isn't, okay, Because if he didn't like the poll, okay, that is, I'm with Destiny. If he doesn't like this question you're asking the public, because a poll is a question to the public. What's your opinion? Okay. Hey Hexy, good to see you. Also, hi. Yes. Okay. So he doesn't need to be president to sue people. Ask his unpaid contract. There you go. He doesn't need. A poll is an isolated sentence. Yes, so you're asking a question. So the fact of asking a question and that being a problem, I find that crazy petty and not a good thing to be doing. And I can understand why Destiny could find that intimidating. Okay, it's like intimidating the press. But if the contention is your poll results were altered and were manipulated, and you were lying to the people, that, I don't know, maybe you go into it. It's not so much defamation, it's actually like, well, it is. You could probably argue. I'm no lawyer, but you could probably argue it's spreading a lie about me. It's spreading that, it's telling people that everybody believes this about Trump, I suppose. So if you're lying about the results of your poll, I guess that makes sense. That's not intimidation. That is, I think another, instead of, oh, he's not abusing power, you should say he is actually trying to get to the truth. He is trying to call into question trying to bring integrity back into media, into pollsters, into all of that. He's questioning the honesty of this pollster. So that's what he's doing. He's being a bastion for truth. Hey, love it. How you doing? If I'm truthful with other people, there will be less truth left over for me. Integrity, can't agree. What do you want, integrity? No, if this, we're talking about whether I'm now, I guess I'm gonna have to go and look it up, this poll. Because the participants are talking about it. Let's go into, usually I don't want to do fact checks and things, I just want to use what they have, but the way they're talking about it here is, they both know about it and I don't. Both kids woke right up before midnight, gotta love it. Yeah, that's normal, that's a good thing to do. That's normal, that's healthy for a child. Did they have nightmares? Guys, I had a nightmare and I kicked Gordon. I proper Spartan kicked him. He's like, he woke up. It was bad. I was fighting for my life in that dream, okay? Right. It won't work here, Roy, but I'll put it for you. I'll put it in here you go, guys. It only works on Twitch. Fuck you, Roy. Guys, see how Roy does a good old dance for you guys? Okay, so I'm just asking, which pollster did Trump sue and give an overview of the case? Okay. I love you. Yes, you should love Rui. Okay, Donald Trump filed a lawsuit against renowned Iowa pollster J.Ann Selzer, her polling firm, Selzer and Company, the Des Moines Register newspaper, and its parent company, Gannett, blah blah, in 2024. The lawsuit was initially filed in Barbara. I don't care where it's filed. Well, it will be necessary to talk about it. Must go have fun on the stream. Well, thank you so much for saying hi. Have a good day. Right, leading Trump by 3%. Okay. On November 2, conducted by Selzer, the case centers on a pre-election poll published by the Des Moines Register on November 2, 2024, conducted by Selzer, which showed Democratic nominee Kamala Harris leading Trump by 3 percentage points in Iowa. A reliable predominantly Republican states. Trump ultimately won Iowa by approximately 13 points. Okay, so he's up. This is not even a poll. It's not even like an opinion poll. Okay, allegations. Trump's legal team claimed the poll constituted brazen election interference. So he's talking about it being election interference. Not because he didn't like it. I suppose it's just the way that it's been characterized by Destiny. False narrative of inevitability. Okay. It violates Iowa's Consumer Fraud Act by creating a false sense of inevitability for Harris. The lawsuit alleged that Salzo intentionally manipulated the proposal. That is what I would have a problem with. Is if you're changing poll results, you're lying. Okay, that's Hixie. Are you high? I mean, it's okay if you are. It's lovely. You and you are great. Like, there's so much love coming from Hixie right now. I do lie. Don't lie when Hixie's lying on their back. With eyes open to the ceiling. And I don't lie often. Well, that's good. Okay, anyway. So it's, yes, this whole contention is actually about a pre-election poll, which is quite testy. It's he's saying it's election interference. It's not, oh, do you like Trump's policy on this, and then people then she lied. No, and then he didn't like the results of the poll. Okay, it's he is maintaining that these results were manipulated to create a false narrative, a false truth for them. They paid the trolls to get a gold poll. Okay, all of you guys are poets and you definitely know it. Okay,
That is in the complaint.
Unsubstantiated poll is because he believes he has the facts proving that it's unsubstantiated.
Yeah, but none of that has been presented to the American public. None of that is in the complaint.
that hasn't been presented to the American public. Well, he's taken it to court, so it will be presented. The whole taking it to court does, or is it that actually no, it was kept under wraps in court?
Like, there's no evidence of that whatsoever that we can see. So
you don't play your cards and show them, do you?
Well, in this case, I think you probably would owe it to the American people to, because otherwise it looks like, do you agree that a reasonable person could look at it and go, wow, that's kind of scary that the president is suing a pollster because he doesn't like the poll?
Well, it's not that he doesn't like the poll. It's actually that you change the event, the results. That's the problem. But of which I would want somebody to see consequences for falsely reporting on a poll, right? I would want that. But I know, and I wouldn't put it past Trump to use that argument when it's just like he didn't like the way it made him look. Sue him, dang it, solves everything. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm thinking, look, as much as Soccer Dad isn't saying it properly, the whole point is that the results are fabricated, and that constitutes election of interference according to Trump. But yeah, you're using this as an example of intimidation. Whereas more like, oh, well, if it isn't the consequences of my actions. That's the other view of this. Cool, let's go.
It's not because he doesn't like the poll. That's not the truth. Mm-hmm. The truth is that he's suing for substantiated reasons. Otherwise, he wouldn't waste his time.
Well, but didn't he waste his time with 62 other court cases about election fraud in 2021? And hasn't he wasted his time with a whole bunch of other court? The
main question, okay, the Trump administration, the assertion. Sorry, I'm looking at my diagram as if you guys can see it. I'm gesturing. Yeah, the main thing is the Trump administration is engaging in censorship. We're talking about the Trump administration now, okay, because it's an administration that is administering, okay. Oh, in 2021, whoa, 2021 election, whoa. Okay, no, I want to talk about this here. Okay, but cool, continue. You're making it relevant for yourself.
Cases about election fraud in 2021, and hasn't he wasted his time with a whole bunch of other court cases that he eventually lost as well?
I don't know about that, but I know that the left has wasted their time as well. going after
Yes.
Trump for a million things.
But they didn't.
Okay, so yeah, the left has also gotten lovely. Left has also gone after Trump. Okay, legally. Okay, for frivolous things apparently. I'm also going to just put here 2021 election fraud cases. 61 of them, okay. It's easy enough to falsify raw data for academic studies. A biased news outlet falsifying poll data would be much easier. Both are to prove. They're supposed to. That's the thing. You're supposed to prove, and you are. I think there should be some sort of standard. We need to be able to. We need to be able to. What do you call it? Trust. Have some sort of trust. I'm suing my kids for intent to deprive me of rest and sanity. They're gonna counter sue and be like, I did not choose to exist. You brought me into this world. It's your fault. That's what my niece does to my sister. She's like, I didn't ask for this. You deal with me.
Waste their time there. They got convictions in the state of New York. They probably would have gotten. They got federal indictments for Mar-a-Lago and for the Gen 6 stuff.
Okay.
I mean, is that a waste of time?
Absolutely, if it didn't take them to substantiate the truth.
Well,
Because
they couldn't because
none of
Trump-
this was proven in court.
Okay, we're just talking about how much fun we get litigating each other. Okay. So Jan 6 court cases. What else? Are we
Because
gonna
they got to dismiss all the cases.
Well, no, because the left was controlling the judicial system
But
completely.
they.
Ooh, we had fading facts there from Soccer Dad behaviorally. he just went, I don't really, I'm saying this thing, but I'm not really sure about it. So I'm just gonna, yeah, they had control over the judiciary. Okay, come on, Peter, get them out of this quagmire. Let's go. Well, I guess he probably wants them to have this conversation, but for me, I'm like, we need to talk about censorship. I suppose we had the idea of censorship, and the way that Destiny went with it is litigation against Polster, and now it's just litigation writ large.
But they weren't. These were Trump appointees.
But they weren't Trump appointees.
Okay. So when
Okay.
Trump does it, it's always okay. Trump can literally do anything, and there's always going to be an like. What if
No.
it came out? So what if it came out?
Oh, I love it! Look at Peter's face. I want to screenshot this for future thumbnails. There we go. I need to save this. That's his listening face. Here we go. Community posts. Yes, let's go. Okay. Okay.
This Iowa case, if they go to court and Trump has no evidence, would you say, okay, that was a really scary abuse of power for him to sue somebody for no reason?
Absolutely, wholeheartedly. You can't argue the truth.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna. Could
You
come
can't argue the truth. That's what we do every day.
forward? I'm gonna give you a chance to ask each person one question.
Okay.
Because Trump has lots of power, do you think sometimes he's a little bit of an aggressor and tries to scare people?
Ooh, okay, so we have questions from the audience. Mom? Listening face? No, listening face. That's his listening face. My listening face is on the thumbnail, and then his listening face, I just took a screenshot for future thumbnails. Okay. So we've got mom asks, this is mom, so Soccer Dad's there, and mom asks, Trump has a lot of power. Is he not? Is he? So she basically just asking, isn't he a little bit of an aggressor? He is. He's an agitator. He goes out. He steps out. He doesn't just I guess people go after him and he fights back. I guess that's what he does. I'm the leader. I say when it's over.
I think claiming that he has lots of power is perceptive. I don't.
People claiming he has lots of power is perceptive. Yes, he's supposed to have a lot of power. People just don't like that idea that he does.
How do you find that he's dictatorial?
Okay. She didn't ask that.
To scare people?
I think claiming.
And tries to scare people. Okay, so aggressive sometimes and tries to scare people. I think that is part of his MO is, yes, he's going to scare. No, I think intimidate. That's his whole art of the deal, I suppose. He's got to like scare people. That's what he's trying to do with tariffs and things like that. He's trying to intimidate, trying to be on top, be the person in control.
That he has lots of power is perceptive. I don't. How do you find that he's dictatorial? They call him a dictator. They call him a Nazi. I mean, where do you get this from? I don't.
Okay, so we're. Peter's like, I'm just here holding the microphone.
They call him a Nazi. I mean, where do you get this from? I don't understand where people can make these claims.
He's not going to answer the question.
And then the results always end up showing the truth, which is not true.
Okay.
Okay. The results showing it's not true. So, I guess I'm just gonna say, Soccer Dad, Trump has power, but he's not a dictator. When people accuse him of it, it's proven wrong. Okay. Not all people want to be in control. Well, that's interesting. The Hexy says not all people want to be in control. That's a good question for us to keep in mind when we have our chaos discussion, Lovett. Because Lovett's going to come back on Thinkers. Not this week, but it's sometime soon. Yeah, that's an interesting question. Not all people want to be in control. Maybe some people just don't care whether they're in control or not, but I find words important. Yes, I do. I love words.
Do you have a question for Stephen?
Not so much. Can I?
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
She wants to talk to him.
Okay.
Because I just agree with Stephen. I don't really have a question for Stephen.
It's just, you don't think he tries to intimidate, like part of his play is to intimidate sometimes people?
I don't find, because of my personality.
Okay, love it. So you're all chaos, you don't understand routines or schedules. Do you like that about yourself? Because if that's what I need to do to be happy is embrace that I am chaos, maybe I'll be happier. Because I really try to find, I do find quite a lot of comfort in order though. So, but then again, maybe I should cut myself a little bit more slack because I am chaos. I mean, look, have you seen my channel, guys? It's a bit chaotic, isn't it? Thank you for bearing with it.
I don't find it as intimidation. There's strategies used to make things happen.
Okay, wait, did you say I don't find it?
I don't find it as intimidation.
Personally, he doesn't find it as intimidation, okay? He's just got rose-tinted glasses when it comes to Trump, I suppose.
There's strategies used to make things happen. If people...
He just calls it... This is Spin Doctor Soccer Daddy. Spin Doctor Soccer Dad. Soccer Dad Spin Doctor. Spin Sock... Point is... Okay, I can't give people nicknames very well. We need Trump's support here. But, his idea is it's not intimidation, it's just a strategy. I think if he's agreeing, it's not intimidation, it's a strategy. He doesn't think it's intimidation. I think it is. It's a strategy of intimidation. Own it. You don't have to, just own it. Say yes, I agree.
Snowflakes get offended with everything that someone says.
Okay.
And that's the problem we have in society. we're talking about censorship. Oh, I don't like what he said. It offended.
We're not talking about censorship, okay? Anyway, like we're on the outskirts of censorship.
Almighty. We're talking about censorship. Oh, I don't like what he said. It offended me. Oh my God, we need to stop that.
Okay. Saying you don't like something doesn't necessarily mean it's censorship. It's just discouraging. Just discourage it. One of the things that V said is he goes, "Let it exist so I can hate it." Okay, I obviously can't say I can't do his accent very well, but he's like, "Let it exist so I can hate it." He's okay with that idea. He's not going to be engaged in the folly of saying this should not exist, because obviously when it comes to certain other kinds of content, he will definitely condemn it all the way to this should not exist. But when it comes to overly sexualized things and whatever, he says, I'm not going to enjoy that. I don't want it all over my screen all the time whenever I go on the internet, but it's allowed to exist because I know that if I were to apply, the problem with censorship is, sure, the things that I don't like will be censored one day, but the next day the things that I do like might be censored. So just do that. Don't engage in that. I'm more spontaneous. I was just jesting. Sometimes I enjoy it, but other times it feels short-sighted to try and control. Destiny is unironically advocates for a ministry of truth in this. Great times, a ministry of truth, because that can't go wrong. One ministry of truth, huh?
Do you have a question for Destiny?
Actually, no, I don't.
No, I don't. I don't have a question because I agree with him. God, don't you want to get a more high definition idea of his things? Nothing?
Okay, good. Reset to the neutral, everybody.
Would you? I would like to use. I also, just because I agree with people doesn't mean I never have questions for them. But hey, here we are. She didn't have a question. She's not very interested in talking to someone. There's not much to do for us to do. She has a problem with soccer dad's ideas. Okay, next one.
Next claim. Alternative media is a better way to understand what's actually happening than corporate media.
Ooh. Okay, guys. Answers in the chat. Okay. Do you agree? Alternative media is better than corporate media. I think it's better to have the most information. You should have as much information as possible. I know you can get overwhelmed by a lot of information, but I would say having both sides is better. All media is pretty overrated. That's true, it's overrated, but I wouldn't want silence. I wouldn't want I wouldn't want control, just complete censorship of it. I prefer hacked systems. Yes, more viewpoints, exactly. So I want alternatives because I want to be able to have challenging views, or I want narratives to be challenged, but I need to then be smart enough to realize where each narrative is coming from. There are people that will just outright take the mainstream news and say that's not true because it's from the mainstream. They're lying to us. And then just take the opposite and throw it out there because that's part of their agenda. Everybody's trying to tell a story that suits them. And I think we need to just understand that whether you're alternative or corporate, alternative or mainstream, whatever, you're all trying to tell a story that suits you. I think it is easier when you... It's difficult that we have so many... we've spoken about this, where we have basically just alternative facts. We have one person spewing this fact, the other person spewing another fact. So eventually to the point I'm just going, all I can do is know what this person says is fact, know what this person says is fact, and me say, I don't know. I don't know what the truth is, but I know that these are the options that are out there. It sucks, but it's all that I can do. But luckily, I am not the leader of a country, and I don't need to make that sort of decision. I'm just a girl. Okay. So our main prompt here is. So again, I don't think I would disagree. I suppose the way that you express that in this context would be slightly agree or neutral. I suppose I'll just say neutral so that I could explain. Good night, Kitty and crew. Good night, Zaxi. Alternative media is a better way. And a lot of the time, actually, alternative media is interpretation of traditional media. A lot of the time, my news consumption is people looking at the news that we have from the mainstream and then showing, basically doing what ground news does, where it's like they'll say, this is how this was reported here, this is how this was reported here. So it's actually more like the alternative media is just an extra layer of discussion and analysis. It's not passive. I think that's what's also has changed, is it's not passive. You're not just receiving information and walking around with it. You're having a discussion about it. You're arguing with people about it. Yeah, so again, just alternative is an asset, I would say. It has exactly the same shortfalls as any other kind of media. You have to build trust. You could lose trust, all of that stuff. It's just that it's alternative. It's still media though. Man, I did one media studies lecture in varsity, and then I changed. What did I change to? Linguistics. It was great. Anyway, media is a better way to understand what's actually happening than corporate media. Okay, so the people that are properly captured by the alternative media, they're like, yeah, it's the Joe Rogan, that's the best place to go. No. Alt media can be well, I'm sure they're going to get into the discussion of what alt media is. Alt media could be on Facebook where your auntie is is sharing shit. A cunning linguist, yes.
Oh, but we record when we deal with reporters. It's called fake news.
It's called fake news. Fake news.
And we solve a lot of problems. You are fake news.
You are fake news.
Sir.
So I'm just gonna have reference in the video. We've got clip. Fake news. Trump saying fake news. Trump calling media fake news. Compilation. Now, I would not put it past Trump to, if I put out a podcast that said something he didn't like and it got a lot of traction and something that actually wasn't true, he would say, hey, that's fake news. You're a fake news podcaster, is what he would say. I don't think it's only the mainstream. He will change his tune anyway. According to what you're saying. He'll like you a lot if you like him, if you support him. But if you turn on him, goodbye. My mom fell for a lot of dumb stuff. She thought Trump was talking to her even when I told her it was PRT. Oh.
It's fake news. Don't talk to me.
I'll let you
Don't talk to me.
decide among yourselves, and you three decide among yourselves who's going to go. Take a minute. Here we are yet again with you two.
Okay, so Stephen is on what? On? Disagree. Not strongly disagree. Stephen's on disagree, and Soccer Dad is on totally agree. Okay, absolutely strongly agree. Actually, no, it's not strongly agree. It's absolutely, isn't it? I mean, the beginning shows it. Okay. Stephen. Oh, I've said Destiny. Destiny. Strong. Well, disagree. And Soccer Dad. Okay, cool. We're good with that.
We'll give you first say, sir.
Thank goodness for alternative media. I've always had an innate feeling that I've been lied to by the
Oh yeah, you see what I mean by the alternative media being having its own story that it wants to tell, its own benefits. It's all about, yeah, I've been lied to. So that's what they get this fervent support. The alternative media can lie to you too. Everybody can lie to you. Everyone is lying to you. There is no truth.
propaganda on the major, and look, now it's finally coming to a T that we have independents that are clearly independent, and
We have independents that are clearly independent. Anything that is for profit is not independent. It is dependent on profit. It will do what is best for it to get the profit.
it can get to a future where the independents change as well, because there's whoever answers to the higher paying authority, then it's going to change. But for now, we absolutely
Okay, good. I'm glad that he understands that they're probably gonna get they're gonna get owned. But yeah, thank goodness, appreciates alternative. Knows eventually succumb to the highest paying. I don't know what he means.
are hearing every side of the story, thankfully.
Okay, knows eventually it will succumb to the highest paying bidder, I suppose. But right now, what right now?
Yeah, I think that
We are hearing every side of the story, thankfully.
It's good and makes sure we all every side. Okay, so he's just has I suppose he's just saying right now it actually is better. It is better than the normal. So we're not too far off. It's just the way that he decided to translate his answer. It's interesting. His answer, I would have stood in a different place, but I have kind of the same mentality, or maybe slightly off. But yeah, I have similar opinions to him, and I would have stood in a different place. It really does depend how you understand the prompt.
Yeah, I think that in the age of alternative media, I think that we probably have the lowest level of information voter that we've ever had in the history of the country.
We have lowest level of information voter in the country. So people are not voting on information, they're going on vibes, I suppose. Lowest level. Okay.
I think that having some type of editorial control over what's important to show, why is it important, how do we contextualize it, is more important than people who are driven by their own individual agendas or ideologies.
Hold on.
Have the lowest level of information voter that we've ever had in the history of the country. I think that having some type of editorial control over
He wants editorial control over
what's important to show, why is it important, how do we contextualize it, is more important than people who are driven by their own individual agendas or ideologies.
Okay, so it's better to have a collective committee, basically, that does sort of editorializing, and is what I would call it. But yes, does editorial in that it converts, it refines certain things, and it's not because it's not an individual. That's what I'm getting there, is that it's like it's better to have a whole group that is looking. But actually, at least with an individual, I have a lot easier time figuring out what their motivations is. I have a better time figuring out what their motivations is. Gonna try to put these kids to bed with me. Good luck. Wish me luck. Good luck, love it. Absolutely. We shouldn't forget independent media can be influenced by elites too. Just look at Tim Pool getting paid by the Russians, or TYT getting money from Qatar. Exactly, Gabriel. That is where I'm at. It's like that can happen. So don't now go and be like, this is the the whole truth, and I'm bowing down at the alternative media altar. That's stupid. What might be easier, in some cases at least, is when there is an individual. It's easier to figure out what their motivations are, because they're a human. They're one human. An organization can become faceless, and it can be a bit harder to figure that one out. Okay, but then again, Tim Pool or whatever, there had to be an investigation there for that to come out. Lowest level of information, but wasn't it traditional reporting that actually showed, traditional investigative reporting that actually broke that story? Anyway, lowest level of information voter. We need editorial. Okay, better to have decisions about to show than have it be up to an individual. Karen?
Are totally obscured from the public, and I feel people are usually dishonest about them when they say, you know, who's driving them or who's giving them money or what they're actually
Everybody's dishonest.
reporting on.
So now
Okay, so he's just got the oh well, yeah, the alternative is dishonest. So can be dishonest. Who is giving them money? Maybe it's actually more. It's easier to hide who is supporting you financially. When you're an individual, whereas a company, it's supposed to be public knowledge.
you're talking about censorship.
No?
So now you're talking about censorship.
I'm not saying we should censor. I'm just saying right now, the state of alternative media, I think, is misinformed people probably more than anything else.
Okay, alternative. Okay, so I mean, if Joe Rogan was here in this, alternative media has misinformed people more than anything else. Joe Rogan would be like, "Well, I was right about COVID. So what do you have to say about that?" So probably Soccer Dad's going to do this. Has misinformed people more than anything else. Probably a lot more sloppy than the mainstream media. The mainstream media goes one way for quite a while and then whoop, change it.
So how would you control that?
Why is Joe Rogan a standard? Joe Rogan is a standard because he's just the most popular podcaster in the world. That's the only reason he's a standard. And he has had influence. He's very influential. At least some corporations, especially publicly traded ones, need to enforce a certain level of rigor to their reporting. Yeah, they do. But also, we as consumers of alternative media, if we're intelligent enough, we should also be wanting, enforcing a certain level of rigor to the reporting as well. We have the power to do that. And if an alternative media, because of how interactive alternative media is, if I come to, say, V, which is V, I go to V for a lot of commentary on news. It's not that I only hear about things from V. But say if he is told something that he has said is wrong, he will make a video talking about it being wrong, and explaining how he came to his erroneous conclusion, or he'll say how he's kept his opinion, whatever. So I know that that's a microcosm compared to freaking Joe Rogan. But if you have a creator that you watch who does not do that, when it comes to being wrong, then they aren't having a level of rigor that you should they don't have a level of rigor that you should support.
I don't know how you control it. I'm just saying that right now it's in a really bad state. I probably would pass laws against it. So I think there are some things I would regulate, yeah.
Help me understand why is it out of
Regulation.
control?
How would you regulate it? I would argue in many cases that need to be accountable to their audience leads more audience capture. That is quite yeah, that's true. That can happen because you are a cult of personality, essentially. You have a certain group that supports you the most, and if you don't say the things that they like, you risk your livelihood. And you have to have the integrity to risk upsetting those people. I think that's, yeah, I think you're right there, Gabriel. It would be nice if people were like Sitch and Adam, who have argued with their audience, like properly. They get angry with their audience gets angry at them. And they're probably just one. I can't think of anyone else. Well, I suppose V is the only other one that I would say does that. But yes, otherwise, the ones that go really, it would be, it's been argued, things that Adam has said before, is that like if we didn't argue with our audience as much, we would probably be bigger if we just pandered to them the way that other larger creators did. So you kind of, you have to have that integrity that will keep you smaller, I suppose. But yeah, I agree with that. I'm starring that. I'm going to put this here. Gabriel. Sorry, I say Gabriel, but I don't know if it's Gabriel. Gabriel. Accountable to our audience capture. So with that in mind though, like I would say then, you know, it really is up to us to choose wisely. Choose as wisely as we can. Hexy, who are you arguing with, hon?
Why you would regulate any of it?
Hexy is getting loud in Twitch chat.
Because right now I think there are a lot of bad actors, like people that deliberately lie and misrepresent to the public in order to
What am I wrong about? Hexy's arguing with me. You're wrong because the outcome does not equate. Oh, yeah.
make a lot of money, and I think it is destroying our democracy. I think it's probably the worst issue that we face right now in the United States.
Audience capture is not valued to a provable scientific fact. Yeah, okay.
Well, that's...
But it's a phenomenon. Observable. It's observable to some people, and other people disagree, and you're one of those disagree people.
Of bad actors, like people that deliberately lie and misrepresent to the public in order to make a lot of money, and I think it is...
Okay, so we got grifters. We're talking about grifters who deliberately lie. There are people... Okay.
It's destroying our democracy. I think it's probably the worst issue that we face right now
Destroying our democracy!
in the United States.
Well, that's your belief, as everyone has their belief, but how would you substantiate that?
By taking a look at the factual record over
How would you substantiate that? Well, there are cases.
literally anything and seeing how people report on it or talk about it.
But isn't it great that we live in a world now that people can say whatever they think, and then you allow the people to decide, not have some...
Okay, so he has a lot more love for this idea that even people, he would rather have more people lying so that everybody can say what they believe. So, what did he call it? It's good. We live in a world everyone can say what they believe, and everyone can decide for themselves. The thing is, the people can be retarded.
someone decide for you behind the scenes.
Yeah, we would never say that with literally any other thing ever. We only say
Okay. It's not Joe Rogan's fault he's more popular than all the mainstream media's most popular shows put together. It's their fault. Actually, that's very true, Groovy. But yeah, it's their fault. They had lost their they lost the trust. Well, not that there was always a lot of trust, but yeah, they eroded their trust. The trust the public had for them.
for media because
Decide for you behind the scenes, say whatever they think, and then you allow the people to decide, not have someone decide for you behind the scenes.
yeah, we would never say that with literally any other thing ever. We only say it for media because
Not have someone decide for you. Yeah, people do want to make the decision, like, oh yeah, I will make a stupid.
people don't like to decide. They like to be told what makes them feel good.
Literally anything else. We wouldn't have that happen. Anything else. People want to be told what makes them feel good.
Well, no,
Sorry,
the
hold
other
up.
thing-
To decide, not have someone decide for you behind the scenes.
Yeah, we would never say that with literally any other thing ever.
We wouldn't say that with anything else. Allow people to choose. This is how I'm understanding him. I'm going to put it in square brackets. We wouldn't say that or anything else. Okay. Literally, I hate the literally that you always get. Okay. For anything else, it's people. Other thing ever, we like being told.
Only say it for media because people don't like to decide. They like to be told what
We only say it for media because people don't like to decide.
makes them feel good.
Okay, they don't want to be told. We say it for, so essentially we say it for media because people want to feel good. Okay. We only say it for media because people want to hear what makes them feel good. People will always hear what makes them feel good. They're not going to, just by nature, that's what they're going to do. I'm getting annoyed with the volume going on here. Because as soon as I put it higher for myself, nothing happened.
Well, no, media is communication. It's always been about what makes you feel good, and that's the psychological aspect of it, and that's how you control people.
Sure,
the
but like
fact
even
that people are saying whatever they want.
We're out of time. I'll give you the last word.
Well, yeah, I'm actually curious. I was going to ask two quick questions. I'm just curious. One, can you think of a couple lies that you feel like CNN or MSNBC have told over the past like 5 or 6 years that you feel like are really egregious?
Okay. So tell me a lie. He has a question, so he wants egregious lies because Soccer Dad has said I get the truth from the alternative media. So a valid question is, give me an example of a CNN lie, like a mainstream lie. Okay. Example of CNN lie. So he's probably going to bring up a COVID thing. Axie! Come here, baby! Come here, mommy, come! Come, Axie, come! I'm here. He's meowing. My cat is walking around meowing because he doesn't know where I am. Axel, can't you hear my whole voice? I mean, I'm very much loud, and this, it's not like we have 3 wings of this this household. Come here. Come here, Ixie. Fine. Actually doesn't want to say hello to you guys. Oh, now he's just come to eat. Okay, he's eating.
Well, the very first one, when they first came out and said that Trump is calling Latinos, criminals and rapists. Is really? Well, let me take a look at the. Let me see that. And
Yeah, and then real quick, and then for a second
Mexico
one, yeah.
is calling us.
No. He's giving you one. So his answer, okay, from Daddy, is Trump calling Latinos criminals. Okay.
This is sending us the rapists. Clearly not what they said. So
Axel did carpet poops? No. He's got a nice clean litter. Booty!
boom, right off the bat, a lie.
Sure, and then a second lie, can you think
Sorry,
of
sorry.
Clearly not what they said. So
Second one,
Mexico
yeah.
is calling us, is sending us the rapists. Clearly not what they said. So boom, right off the bat, a lie.
Sure, and then a second lie, can you think of any random lies over the past like 5 years?
You know, I could tell you it's my perception, so I
Okay,
can't
sure.
tell you if it's truth or lie, but I
Okay.
feel like I've constantly been lied to, so I don't believe any of it.
He feels like he's been lied to, and that's enough.
Sure, then the only other question I would have is, can you think of a single lie that Fox News has told over the past 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, let's think.
Yeah, your perception here, which I wish we had what we had in the previous one, the previous session we went over with Peter Boghossian, where he says, what do you think his argument is going to be? What do you think his argument's going to be? And then they showed on the whiteboard what they thought their opponent was going to say. So clearly it seems like Destiny is thinking that Bro's going to be happy about Fox. This is what I'm thinking. He's a Fox supporter. It's like, no, he doesn't. It seems like this guy does not like mainstream media, no matter which side of the aisle it seems to support. Unless I've just misread Destiny.
Well, you know, about the voter fraud, I heard a few things that were I thought were truth, and then I found out that they were lies.
Yeah, so he's got this. He's not out here saying Fox is the best. Fox lie, including CNN lie. Also, sorry, Fox lie as well. It's about voter fraud. Okay.
So I was like, well, you know what? I lost faith in all of these people. Let me stick to the independent media, which is great.
Okay, I've lost faith in all of these people, so I'm gonna, which is great. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna substitute Brett in.
Brett! So his name's Brett. Groovy. We've got Brett, the Australian. Okay, Brett. Brett's gonna have a question, or we're substituting Brett in, so he's gonna have the same. He's gonna have some argument.
I'll give you 3 minutes. Go.
I'm really suspicious of gatekeepers. So
He's suspicious of gatekeepers. Why are you suspicious of them, Brett?
think more channels of information, the better. There's no
Yeah. I'm with you, Brett. More channels of information, the better. Suspicious of gatekeepers. Okay, more channels of info. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's a lot easier having this. I would prefer having one trusted source that just tells me absolutely everything, but that is naive. Okay, I wish I could just say, Mom, what is the news? Tell me what the news is. The news said this. Okay, that's the truth. It's not how the world works, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to suck it up, Buttercup. Buttercup.
thing as an so I think more channels of information, the better. There's no such thing as an inerrant source of information. It's always going to be riddled with error. It's upon the consumer as to whether or not they can distinguish between this is factual, less factual, complete and utter BS. But I wouldn't hand over one's critical faculties to some government bureaucracy who decides to regulate this or that channel of information.
I do want some sort of effort put in by the sources that I consult. Yes? No men wear t-shirts. That is a lie. Okay? More channels is not always better. Yeah, it means that we're going to have more shit. Absolutely. Everybody's got an asshole. We're all gonna get everybody's shit on the internet. That's what we've learnt from the internet. Okay, more channels of info, the better. He doesn't want, I like this idea of just does not want to hand over critical faculties to a bureaucracy, to a government. And as an Australian, he knows what that's like, guys. A government bureaucracy. God, I hate that fucking spelling. Bureaucracy. Yeah, don't do that. But I do want all of my channels, and the channels that I do choose should be, okay, doing some sort of due diligence. So yeah, don't take all the channels. I understand that. Don't take all of the channels as gospel, essentially. Axel, I am here. Or you're looking for your dad. Your dad goes to work every day. I don't understand. Come here. Hold on, guys. I guess we need to have a break. We're halfway through. Just hold on. Axel, come here. Come here. Come say hello. Oh. Look at this boy. Huh? Are you a big boy? Axie? Run, Axel, no. Here's an Axie buoy. He's not gonna be comfortable for very long. Axie? Oh, sorry. Oh, he's snoring. He can't breathe. Are you okay, my buoy? Buoy? You okay, Axie? Be a good boy. Be a good boy. Okay. So I'm just annoyed. He is a big one. He's a big. Especially compared to Daisy. But yeah, I'm just irritating the shit out of him. So he can be like, okay. Look at him. Don't screech. Out. Okay. There you go. Now he's been sufficiently harassed. I think he'll stop. Okay, I think he'll stop meowing at us. I hate mainstream media. They don't give the full context on news. We need to create a better way to communicate without dumbing down things. But basically impossible because that's hard, really hard. Yeah, exactly, Wesley. I think truth is hard. Learning things about the world is hard. It's difficult. People are lying to you left and right. What are you gonna do? It sucks. That's it. There's nothing more we can do except try and deal. And when we are disappointed by our news sources and the people we trust, that's it. Jesus, that cat is huge, or you are petite. Look, I'm not massive, but Axel's a big boy. He's big no matter what. I'm aligned to destroying asshole. Okay, anyway. Let's get back to it. Thank you guys for enjoying the Axel. Let me just make a little marker there for myself so I can clip that for Axel. Can put it in his album. Axel, I'll tag Axel on social media, but he never tags me back. He doesn't care about me. Okay, Australian Charles is a smart guy. That is not Australian Charles, Cream Edge. Disgusting. What is because of the glasses? Australian Charles is a smart guy based on other videos I've seen him in. Australian Charles. It's Brett, okay? Good to see you, Andrew, by the way. Okay, so let's get back to it. Exit solo. Right. And let's go, sorry. Moving on, yeah. Moving on from the XCB. Guys, in case you didn't know, Axel is not handsome. He's him. So, just so you guys know. It's a special kind of handsome when you're him.
More channels of information that people can choose from.
Well, Daisy's now... Daisy's upset because we've been talking about her brother.
The better. The hand over one's critical faculties to some government bureaucracy who decides to regulate this or that channel of information. The more channels of information that people can choose from, the better. And if they're all disagreeing...
Sorry. Joe Memo Radio subscribed. Welcome to the colony. Welcome to the colony. Did you subscribe for Axel? Axel is hardly ever on stream, but today he just decided to be different. Daisy is the stream cat.
one with another, then perhaps you're able to distinguish which of them are lying and which are telling the truth.
Perhaps.
I don't know why a corporate media or a mainstream media would be a more reliable channel of information or...
Why would they be more reliable? They have more resources. They traditionally have more, are supposed to have more checks involved, okay? It's supposed to be more of a problem if they are wrong. So I guess it's changing a bit, that's eroded a little bit. But yeah, I'm sure I'm making Destiny's arguments here. What makes mainstream? Like seriously, okay, I suppose Tim Pool started off in a lot of the things he was doing. He was being proper investigative journalist, going around and being on the ground because the stories he was covering were happening right in his neck of the woods. But when we're talking about going through sending reporters to Gaza, okay, and that sort of thing, mainstream media does have more resources to actually go on the ground. That being said, mainstream media can also be captured by certain narratives. What makes mainstream media more... Did it just say more reliable as a source of information? We still, at the end of the day, will have to rely on the integrity of individuals to spill stories when their corporate overlords don't want them to. So leak. Saying hello before I go to bed. Night all. Good night, Jacob. Good to see ya. Having more money makes me question how honest they will be. Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, yeah, but the people that you're gonna get the most information from, so in terms of like actually going to the places and seeing them, being there, if you want to talk about Douglas Murray, that sort of stuff, those people will need money to do that investigative reporting. But then again, you don't have to necessarily be on the ground, but you might have trusted sources online these days. I don't know. I think they each have their risk factors, and I think that what that means is we should take both sides. We should take both sides, as in we should consider all of the information we can get, which does become overwhelming. As you said, it's so difficult.
Channel of reliable information than a whole bunch of smaller channels.
A whole bunch of smaller.
I can't think of...
I don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. I don't want all the small channels to go away and be completely dismissed, but I don't want the mainstream media either to go out, because I'm still consulting them. I've got ground news and I'm still going to those websites, to those news websites. I will consider these ideas. Thank you, Hexy.
Anything that you would ever learn or help somebody learn something or teach somebody something where you would ever say that like, oh, like I'm having trouble with my physics homework, my math homework, learning how to do jujitsu, whatever, and you go, oh, well, try opening these 1,000 books and choosing which one you think is the best, or open these. Okay, yeah, so he's pointing to the need for authority. You need to have some sort of authoritative source. You want to look at the most. So he gives you an example. Destiny gives, I'm trying to put their ideas in their own things instead of doing a dialogue tree. So Destiny, in terms of consulting many sources, when doing physics homework, you won't open 1,000 books. This is a limitation of having so many sources.
And that was something that I was wondering about with books. I do feel like books are more authoritative. I want people like, why do you need textbooks for talking about debates or learning about debates and all of that? Why do you want them? And it's like, there is a certain amount of rigor and authority that goes into creating a book, that used to go into creating a book, that I still have vestigial trust in. So that's why I still love books. 1,000 books. Physics homework, you won't open 1,000 books and then pick the best one. Okay. So this, the idea, challenging the idea that more sources are better. You do need some sort of authority. Books tend to be more exhaustive on its subject matter. Yeah. And it is considered. It's a considered structure. Look, books can be bad. Textbooks can be bad. That was part of why I was interested in editing. Just in terms of how you put ideas together. It's very important. But the thing is, when a textbook is really well done, it really gives you this this great way of learning, this great foundation of knowledge that helps you. I love textbooks, man.
15,000 YouTube videos and go through which one is the best.
Yeah.
I think that having authority people or well-educated or
You do need authority, yeah. I am in agreement with that. You do need authority. You do need authority figures. But news is different because news is what's happening. It's what's happening right now. Where when it comes to knowledge about the world, solid, scientific, law-based, yeah, it will become more concrete. You would need, you could develop authoritative sources in stagnant knowledge, not stagnant, in what do you even, not stagnant, but stationary knowledge, like laws of the universe. But when it comes to news, it's a lot about what is happening now. So there's a lot of politics around it. There's a lot of views surrounding it. So you can't really be as authoritative as you want to be. You can't, this physics homework and things like that. Unfortunately, there is a qualitative difference between the laws of physics and what's going on in the world today, unfortunately. Hey Tombi, good morning. How you doing? How's your cables doing?
Read and good teaching people is always like really essential for helping people learn things. I think this is
true. I don't think we should throw it out.
True of basically every single aspect of our lives that we inhabit. I don't think there's ever a time where somebody comes to somebody who's confused and then you just open in front of them like 15,000 different sources and have them go through with it. But for some reason, when it comes to media, people are under this weird assumption. For some reason,
I would say the reason is because of the currentness of the phenomenon. Okay, the up in the airness of the phenomenon. The facts seem to change quite quickly, as opposed to research and science. And the scientific method takes a lot longer than the reporting cycle. Office is looking spanky indeed. Nice. So you need authority figures but there is something there when people are confused, and that's another thing. We're vulnerable when we're confused, and the more we're exposed to what's going on, we're even more confused. So when someone is confused, we don't usually give them overwhelming amounts of information, except in media. So he's like, listen, the people are stupid, tell them what to believe.
That if there's 10,000 dueling, media channels, somehow the truth is going to come out. There's just absolutely no empirical reason to believe that case over the past 5 or 10 years when...
There's no empirical case, okay? Because bro is applying the scientific method here, okay? Are you an authority now?
Again, voter literacy...
It's interesting, because Destiny is actually alternative media. He does constitute alternative media. But he's just he's a commentator.
Litany of topics is probably going to come out. There's just absolutely no empirical reason to believe that case over the past 5 or 10 years when, again, voter literacy over a litany of topics is probably at an all-time low right now.
Okay. So because of this voter literacy, we're not going to increase the voter literacy. We're like, no, we know what's better is to take away their options. We have to increase our control over them. The fact that they have not dealt with this freedom, or they've not developed the muscles that need to be developed, the critical thinking that needs to be developed with this newfound freedom, because freedom is often just safety versus freedom. Okay, so he's on the side of safetyism, where it's like, you know what, no, we go back to control, because we can't expect people to develop critical thinking. We need to do it for them. Except in media, so it's like no empirical case that the truth will somehow come out with more sources. So the crazies, I suppose, he would point to the crazies that congregate on the internet, that wouldn't necessarily have congregated before, because they would have just stayed at home. Now they congregate virtually, and they could become more of a trouble to society. If the next thing I actually should talk about is like the first chapter of Carl Jung's the book I'm listening to, which makes it more difficult for me to commentate on it, which is weird. The undiscovered self, and he actually is talking about this stuff, which is, it's insane to me how relevant it is even now still. You look gorgeous today. Well, thank you, Theo. You're kind of told to do that. Just so you should check on your friend, because I kicked him this morning while I was sleeping. I kicked him awake by mistake. Right, so come out with more sources of information. Voter literacy is at all-time low. So yeah, in the nuts? No, not the nuts, but in the same area. But listen, I was fighting for my life. I was fighting for my life in my dream. All-time low, I don't know about that. People are more informed than before. Maybe not as best informed, but still better than before. Maybe they are, they think they're informed, but he's saying that they aren't informed. They don't know. They're going on vibes, Wesley, apparently. I don't know that Destiny is arguing for some kind of ministry of truth. My assumption is that he's merely pointing out limitations of democratizing media, but he does seem to want to go back to control. I do get that from what he's saying here. I get that. I would like him to prove me wrong, though. I would like somebody to ask him what he thinks the solution is.
On the United States.
Because he's talking about authority, and I think, yes, you do need to have something. You do need to have some sort of standard.
Over a litany of topics is probably at an all-time low right now in the United States. Like it seems
probably. Like he said probably.
That whatever that experiment was about having the open dueling alternative media, it has failed miserably and catastrophically.
That's not
okay. It's failed. The open dueling media has failed. Essentially, it's failed.
Circumstance we actually find ourselves in. When you have all of this proliferation of different channels of information, they do tend to converge, at least on what's happening.
They do tend to converge. They converge in certain camps. Seems like at least 1 or 2, sometimes 3.
So you can look at, for example, recent aircraft crashes that have happened in the United States. The fact that they agreed these aircraft crashes did happen means that a certain amount of information is getting out. Now, whether...
Okay, yeah. Okay, so he talks about convergence of... so it seems like he has a bit of literacy. And the thing that Destiny is arguing is, no, there isn't enough literacy in the vast populace. So Brett, you're pretty cool if that's what you saw, but they can't be trusted. People can't be trusted. Convergence. Many sources converge on certain truths. I think, yeah, you could say what is the similarity between all of these coverages, and that's why today's sponsor is Ground News. I'm kidding. But maybe one day. The thing is that is tools like that, which is basically for curating your information. That's what they do, is they curate it for you, put it in an easily accessible way that you can... What I've been doing with Ground News is, so you get the summary and you go and you read the different articles and the way that they have referred to facts. And a lot of the time, you'll see what is consistent across all different reporting platforms. You're like, okay, at least I can say they all say this. But then you'll also see differences. So I think actually, yeah, if we have time, it would be interesting to just go through an example on Ground News.
Whether or not the cause of those aircraft crashes can be converged upon, different media sources say different things about what the likely cause is going to be, is a separate issue. But I don't see that it's problematic for the fact that it's problematic in learning to have multiple sources of information.
Yes, absolutely. I'm with him that it's problematic in that we have to learn. Okay, get cat food sponsor. Yeah! Listen, the only cat food sponsor I would agree to, there's a few for treats, but in terms of what I feed my cats, it's Royal Canin. My cats will not eat anything else. So there's that. So yeah, many sort of the problem, the difficulty comes with learning. The problematic, what is problematic? To learn to have multiple sources. And that is why watching a video like this is important to see how do counter ideas interact. How do people that disagree interact? How do you logically deal with conflicting ideas? People were more critical and less tribal before, back in the old days. Less tribal? I guess I think there's always going to be outliers of people that are critical, and then tribalism just takes over anyway because of the nature of humans. People did not vote on vibes in the past. Yeah, exactly. They definitely did. People followed what they heard a lot in their family and friends. Your local races back then would have more impact on your voting. Absolutely, Wesley. I'm in agreement. People have always gone on vibes. It's just now they have more source for the vibes. More sources. And yes, those sources can be false. So they do. It seems like we are... With our evolution, we have more responsibility. With more technology, we get more freedom. With more freedom, we get more responsibility. But it seems like states, we will talk about it in on Thinkers this week, about the Online Safety Act in the UK and all of that. It's interesting to try and make laws that stifle this explosion of technology. Yeah, there is confirmation bias is in us as humans. We will have confirmation bias no matter how much information. If everything blows up, and we're trading in gossip, in verbal, we go back to Monkey, and basically we're trading in grunts and things, there's going to be confirmation bias, because that is how our brains are wired. No, it's not like that here. People used to vote for whoever was going to give them money. The elites were tribal, not the rest of us. Yeah, I suppose. What's going to help me? You can't even blame them. Blame who? Blame people for voting on vibes, or what can't you blame? We're going to die. It's a fact. Hexy, you should become a member on YouTube so you can listen to what Marcus Aurelius talks about when he's talking about coming closer to death.
It's just like having multiple universities out there. It's not like you can't choose one based upon certain criteria that you think is good.
Nice, yes, you do. It's not like you can't choose them. So having these books, you do actually. So if we opened up all these books, okay, for physics, let's go back to the physics example. He was saying, oh, it's when doing physics homework, you don't take up 1,000 books and see which one's the best one. Actually, you trust your school who gave you your textbook, and they went through all of the kind. They went through a certain process of choosing and curating what they would find as your source of information. And yes, it's you're using it in that one case. I suppose what he's saying here is with your news, with your daily what's going on in the world, you're going to have to learn to choose based on certain criteria. Okay. Which I suppose we started doing when we also got the printing press. That sort of thing. I don't have to learn anything. You know how to do it.
The existence of a multiplicity of universities doesn't destroy the idea that you can pick one and it might be reliable, or pick another.
Sure, but universities have like a whole peer review process like that.
Okay, so peer review process. So he used, sorry, as is his example, university example. Choice example. So having doesn't take away the ability to choose which is best. Okay. So with universities have a whole peer review process. Okay, so universities have peer review process. Let's actually put this here. That's part of the same idea of choosing. University have peer review. So what my response would be there is part of your part of those criteria that Brett absolutely love Brett. Part of the criteria there would be does this university have peer review? Does this person who's sharing this AI video on my Facebook and telling me that there's a Sharknado coming, is that person living up to my criteria as a news source? There is I want a peer review process.
It's like one of the most hardcore, stringent examples of editorial control.
Andrew, we don't care what people suck, okay? When we're looking at their arguments.
Over information. When you look at a journal and you see what's published.
Tribalism isn't returning to monkey. You know, when I said returning to monkey, it was more like returning to having less technology, returning to how we communicated before technology. But tribalism wouldn't be returning to monkey, because tribalism is always in us. There's no returning. We've always been this way. So I'm in agreement.
It's not just examples of editorial control, a whole peer review process. Like that's like one of the most hardcore, stringent examples of.
You know what's funny though? It's so hardcore and stringent, but you're standing in the same room as Peter Boghossian. Do you know what he's done with the universities? So, and peer review. It's some of the most stringent stuff. Please ask Peter Boghossian about publishing and things like that. It's not free free from criticism, Destiny. It's not the be all and end all. Everything is corruptible. It seems like if there is a system, we can game it.
editorial control over information. When you look at a journal and you see what's published there, it's not just whoever decides to write a thing and is now like the lead publisher because he's got the funniest opinion. It's usually a...
Okay. Yes, there is a different system. It's not about the funniest opinion. It's about what's going to get us grants. It's going to be like, no, what is allowed for us to actually research. When I go to my supervisor to get approval for my PhD or my master's thesis or my honors thesis, they have to find it relevant enough. We can't just do what we want. We have to figure out whether it's going to be interesting enough for it to be published in a journal. And what the university wants to do is publish. They need to be making sure, they need to be adding to the pool of knowledge, but that's not beyond corruption. That's what I would say, but cool, I understand. They have peer-reviewed process, is very stringent, cool, whatever. But we have grievance studies, guys, as part of universities.
A whole process that a bunch of other reviewers go through to make sure that a process has been followed correctly, that the results are replicable, that there's like a reason for it.
Everyone, many people here will be more expert than I am on the perverted way in which peer-reviewed journals happen to have evolved and the way...
Great timing to look at him. Great timing to have a shot there of Peter.
In which the entire process has now been destroyed in terms of the credibility of many of these peer-reviewed journals, simply due to the fact that there are vested interests in what gets published, who publishes it, who reads it, who pays for it, and so on.
It's not beyond corruption. So everything, guys, it's almost as if whenever there's information, it's corruptible. Whenever there's a system, we can gain it for our own benefit. Interesting. Okay. It's almost like there's stakeholders that subtly push certain agendas. Color me shocked. My thesis was on immigration support. I'll just say that much. Okay, listen, mine was about comedy and making jokes about children, having children, and that being a way of expressing the dissatisfaction with having children. the only way to deal with the difficulty of having children is to make jokes about it. And basically, I think the only reason that my supervisor liked the idea was just because I would be using conversation analysis to explain why jokes are funny, which is what that's what we'll use our academic. I'm scared one day, guys, next year maybe, I don't know, when I'm brave, I have my thesis and we can go and read it. It's going to be the most cringe experience ever. It just loses steam by the end. But it would be interesting to see if I could just go in and fix it, I suppose. See if I could find any sort of value in what it was. It was not up to publishing standards. They said if I reviewed it, we could probably put it for publishing, which is hilarious because it's like, what is it? It's not going to change anything. It's just interesting. Okay. Anyway, it doesn't take away the ability to choose what is best. We've got here problematic, multiple sources of information, perversion. There is a perversion. There has been perversion of the peer review process. In journals. You tattoo your body. Can we trust you? Yes, actually, it shows that I commit to things. Maybe at my folly, I wear my heart on my sleeve, quite literally. So no, there's no hearts here, roses. But yeah, do you dance? Absolutely not. I don't know how to dance. I can move rhythmically, and it's cringe.
So forth. The same may very well be true with large media organisations.
Yeah,
yes.
That can be an opinion that people can have, but empirically...
Oh, that could be an opinion, but empirically, no. I think empirically, yes.
Like, the idea, the fact that you even have that opinion, I feel like establishes how corrupting, like, alternative media has been.
Oh, okay. Okay. By the way, guys, I said peer review. Okay. I got 80%. When I look back at my thesis, I cringe. I got 80%, but still. Yeah, I got 75, but still. I think it was 74. Sorry, it was 74, so it was just under. And wow, so you cringe at 80%? Jeez. I guess, yeah. I suppose that 6% would not have made it much better. I suppose, yeah. You're like, I'm speaking as if I'm an authority. I'm trying to be smart. You have to. You're supposed to speak like you know what you're talking about. So I guess that is cringy. Hey, 144. I don't care if he sucks D. I care if he is a hate-filled leftist psycho that lives off shitting on the Western USA, insults men, insults patriotism. He should be deplatformed or in jail. You know what, Andrew? I don't think he needs to be deplatformed. Or put him in jail. I don't think so. I think what is great is that you can say you don't like him and you think he's a psycho and he's hateful. I think that's good. Label him and dismiss him for that. Because I do think he has quite a bit of angst in him. Not the mark the content, too many grammatical errors. Really? No! Oh, no, how dare you. That's the easiest part, Creamage. If immigration is legal, I wonder which country humans would go to the most. I know there is a simple answer, but I like to think everyone would go to Australia. Wesley. Okay, they would just go and chill there. Yeah, that's true. Let's go. To be straight is not a failure. Yes, true, Hexy. Destiny, the dude who said the church campgoers deserve to drown. What a downfall. Yes. Our favorite boy. But listen, that doesn't mean we can't listen to him when he's being decent. He's not over here telling you that Brett should die in a flood, so we can listen to him sometimes.
Like the fact that you even have that opinion, I feel like establishes how corrupting like alternative media has been. Like there have not been any of these alternative institutions that have sprung up to do good research in science or.
Okay, so he finds this opinion over here to be a problem. Okay, the fact that you are able to have that opinion, and he says alternative institutions, and we have a camera change to Peter Boghossian here. Alternative institutions haven't had success. They've actually just been just as bad, I suppose. So the fact people think peer review is perverted, has been perverted, shows that mainstream media, that alternative media has poisoned, has misinformed people. And then he's got alternative research institutions haven't done good research in science. The thing is, though, it seems like the research in science, okay, in terms of which science we're talking about, it's pretty difficult to, I don't know, look, they have tried to make physics work and tried to also add some wokeness into mathematics and things like that, but the hard scientists, the hard sciences, the hard sciences, okay, seem to be a little bit more difficult to lie in. It has happened. I'm sure of it. It's been reported on where people have fabricated results and things like that and whatever. But the soft sciences, the human sciences, the BA, okay, the Bachelor of Arts sections where we're at, the humanities, that's fucked with to no end, because it's all, we're trying to create this certain narrative out in the world. We're trying to take it from just in the universities and then spread it into the world, spread the message, spread the good news of oppression outward into the world. So this alternative research institutions haven't done good research in science. I don't know, are you talking about there's no alternative, that the alternative What institutions are you talking about? Essentially is what I would want to know.
Medicine or technology, like all of these huge pushes in technology, all of these huge pushes in pharmaceutical research, all of this is
Pharmaceutical?
Through this process. Like people can critique.
Okay, so pharmaceuticals. So he's pointing to. I'm talking about humanities, and that is not negligible, hun. Okay, pharmaceuticals, technology have all advances, all came through that process. Okay, so that's good. That's what's good that's come out of it.
And I think there are criticisms that are fair to levy at it, but to say that the process is bad or this alternative media process is better when that hasn't produced anything, I mean, we can go through specific topics, but like on.
Okay, so his contention is alternative hasn't produced anything. Technology is a new term. I just called
anything. I think that the general knowledge of like an American has decreased substantially over the past several years as a result of this alternative media environment.
Okay, fine. So he says as a result of this alternative media environment, we are here. So you do need authority figures. This is part of it. Americans have become less informed because of alternative. Okay. So do you see what I mean by it seems like he is emphasizing that this alternative media must be done away with. And by taking away the alternative media, that would mean we're going back to regulation, to authoritative sources, to the mummy and daddy of media.
All right, let's do this. Everybody go back to the neutral. New claim.
Okay, new claim.
Community Notes on X is more trustworthy than the New York Times fact checkers.
Okay, Community Notes on X is more trustworthy than the New York fact checkers. No. Basically with Community Notes you are getting the most popular. The way that it works, you do vote if something's. You are relying on the audience to tell you that that this is what was helpful or not. So yeah, you could. I have come across a few community notes that are very clearly weaponized community notes. But hey, fact checkers can also be weaponized because of the way that they phrase things. They try and say, yeah, that sometimes they fact check, other times they don't. When they get something wrong, they don't make a big stink about it. They just put a little correction in there and that's it. It's just, whoops, oh, this was corrected. We don't talk about how we were wrong. We don't do that. Why is Destiny in this thing? Why is he an authority on anything? Well, you know why he is an authority? Okay, that's another thing. We're just talking about this here, Andrew. We're talking about community notes. We kind of give authority to people that have a big following. They are leaders of men. They are leaders in some cases, well, in some cases, because they have this following. Do you see what I'm saying? You have people that listen to you, whether they agree with you or not, I suppose. But yeah, you have people, so many people that listen to you. You have influence over them. You have said something, done something that has made them listen to you. So you have this kind of authority, this social authority. So maybe it's unearned in your eyes, but it's still there. You have clout. Therefore, your opinion matters because you are actually disseminating that opinion to a lot of people. You have influence, therefore you have an authority. You have some sort of authority. Community Notes are a group of people in Texas. Previously, it was outsourced to Europe. Community Notes seems to be correct 95% of the time, either adding context to a lie by omission or pointing out outright lie. Yes, I do agree that they are very, very helpful. More trustworthy than the New York Times fact checkers. I don't know about trustworthy, But useful. Very useful. Because the New York Times fact checkers are going to just fact check what is said in an article or something like that. This, a community note giving more context, doing all of that is way more useful. So I would probably just chill on neutral. Just, yeah. I wouldn't strongly agree. Definitely not. I wouldn't strongly agree. Maybe I would just go on an agreement just so that I could have a discussion about it. So, more trustworthy. It's not that I don't trust the fact checkers, I just don't think that they're as useful. Okay, let's see.
Move. Okay, James, you go.
James!
And then David, you go. You have 3 minutes.
James. Let's go, James. He's got 3 minutes.
I'll let you go first.
There's still journalistic standards that need to be met for these New York Times fact checkers, whereas...
Okay, so he's on, like, disagree. He's on disagree. James is on disagree.
X is purely democratic, and...
Okay, so we've got, yeah.
Who's voting on this depends on who sees it in the first place, meaning that we can't ever have, like, a totally perfect... In either case, which is why I'm not on absolutely disagree, we can't have a totally perfect idea of what's true or false, but we're more likely to be closer to the truth when we have a New York Times fact checker rather than community notes.
Okay. I mean, community notes also brings in fact checkers. It will say, the fact checker said this, you know. They will bring a bit more nuance to what a fact checker might write, the way that a person writes it. They say, oh, it's slightly true, or something like that. Yeah. It's not like I would do away. Again, it's this either or thinking is, okay, I wouldn't do away with one for the other. Okay, so disagree. New York Times, well, journalistic standards applied to fact checkers, while community notes is democratic. And yeah, democratic doesn't necessarily mean the truth. So if you get in that, you can community note bomb, and we've got bots and things like that. So yeah. Fat cat on diet. Actually, speaking of which, my cat has to go on diet. He's a big breed. My vet told me my cat is overweight. I knew he was fat, but I didn't know he could become diabetic. Yes, he is 7.5 kgs. My cat's 7.5 kgs. Yeah, I had a diabetic dog. We had to give her insulin every day. It's a big problem, so we should, you know what, Andrew, we should be working on that. Fat checkers. We are fat checkers. Daisy, on the other hand, is actually needs to get a bit more fat. Daisy, why are you so thin? Why are you so little?
Okay, I understand what your point is, but I think the good part about it being democratic is that it's not I understand what your point is.
Have a New York Times fact checker rather
Who's
than...
the other guy? Sorry, I need to go back.
Okay.
Is...
And then David, you go.
Okay, David. David, what is your opinion? Tell us.
Absolutely disagree.
Oh my god, I've got another one. Look at this one. Hey, screenshots. Screenshots are all around. I need to hold on. Here. That's a good one. Hey. Okay. You've got a big cat. He is big. He's a big boy. I'm gonna check his BMI, but he does need to cool it a bit. I used to measure out the amount of dry food I gave them for the day, and I don't do that anymore because I was trying to get Daisy fat. Anyway, this has been the Fat Cat Hour.
We can't have a totally perfect idea of what's true or false, but we're more likely to be closer to the truth when we have a New York Times fact checker rather than community notes.
Okay, I understand what your point is, but I think the good part about it being democratic is that it's not one person or one group's incentive, because that's what we have to.
Okay. Good that community notes just one group incentive. Yeah, when one group does get more bots going, I suppose that is when we get that group's incentive. But yeah, we do get. I think that's Justin Timberlake. Yeah, absolutely.
To look at in organized groups. For example, New York Times published that article about Justin Baldoni, and now we find out that they had incentives to do that through the person that Blake and Ryan Reynolds were suing, Justin.
Okay, so this now you're talking about what they published, but I mean a fact checker will have the same sort of incentives as the publication itself. So well, not fact checkers, publications have their own incentives. Okay. All the old dudes in the back are like, why is this little kid here? Because he is allowed to have an opinion, Groovy. If he was in the UK, he would be a voter. Okay, publications have their own incentives. Then he gives us an example of the Baldoni. Was it Justin Baldoni? Yeah, Justin Baldoni. Story published by, was it the New York Times? Sorry, did he say New York Times?
Baldoni through, and now we find out that they NYT, published by NY Times. They had incentives to do so. Had incentives to do that through the person that Blake and Ryan Reynolds were suing, Justin.
Okay. The AHD had incentive to do so. By the person. Okay, I need more information in terms of how you're.
Baldoni. So they published this entire thing, and that was a display of their power and celebrity to get such a revered institution as the New York Times to literally put out a hit piece.
Oh, okay. So yeah, incentive to do so by Reynolds and Lively. Okay.
About somebody that was wrought with misinformation and facts that they didn't check. So it's like, I think it depends, because obviously someone within that publication had the incentive to put out a hit piece about somebody. And if that same thing was put out on community notes, the large swath of people on the internet would be able to dissect that that wasn't true.
We do that anyway. When stories come out, that's the thing though, that's what we have now, is even if we have a story going out, we've got commentators all over the place, okay? It is a saturated market, which I'm trying to get into. But we've got commentators everywhere that will try and dissect these things and find different parts. It's up to you as a viewer to find somebody that you trust, or find somebody who's doing the right kind of investigation, who has as much rigor as possible, and who will admit when they're wrong.
Minutes, probably. So I think there's definitely sometimes that I would trust a journal more so, but recently. Yeah,
I think that comes down to the fact of sometimes I would trust a journal. Oh well, the New York Times said this. We should believe it. Blah blah blah. Well, then there's another paper that is on the left or the right or whatever that's on the opposite end, opposite side of the aisle that said this. Ground news. It comes back to this. Either way, we have to just try to figure out what there is to believe, and be open to having your mind changed as much as you can without it falling out.
I've lost a lot of faith.
Okay. First off, I don't know anything about Joey Baldoni.
Joey Baldoni.
I don't know what's going on with that. I think that it's bad if there were to be a reason, like they were bribed to put out a hit piece. I don't think that celebrity drama is really that important. I do.
Okay, do you think that just because it will happen with celebrity drama, but it won't happen for anything else? Huh? Don't be mean to the kid, Cynthia. He's very cute. So, he doesn't know about it, but we've got celebrity news isn't that important. Bribes are bad. But and it doesn't have to necessarily be money though. There is interpersonal pressure that happens with elites, with people that have power. People have institutional power, personal power amongst each other, political power in organizations. It's all fraught and horrible. It should always be a grain of salt kind of thing unless you see it for yourself. It sucks, but what can you do? Now with AI, that's compromised. Yeah. Even what you see online is compromised. So you have to see things with your own eyes now if you really want it to be rigorous. AI is insane. Honestly, I don't know what we're gonna do. We need to have something. Even if something came out that purported to detect AI, I don't think we would. I don't think we would be able to trust that either. We're cooked, boys. We're just gonna have to say, well, I believe this video, and then somebody else is gonna say, well, I believe it's AI, and then we're forked. I know people who work in media, but I don't watch any of it. Because you know people who work in media? Yeah.
I believe that the New York Times, if they put that out, that should be a blow to their credibility.
Yes, exactly. That is it. Daisy, don't break the
However,
mark.
I don't think that generally for politics that they would.
I don't think generally for politics they'll do it. Okay. X to doubt.
Bribed. I don't think that.
Going back to soccer, Dad. Your alternative media is not above this.
Be comparable to their ability to be trusted in politics.
Well, let's say not even a bribe. Maybe there was political incentive, for example.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't have to be money. Political, just any kind of incentive. But individuals in alternative media, they have incentive too. Anybody who has a reward mechanism in their brain has incentive.
The thing about the Justin Baldoni is like a Me Too allegation, so it's greater than just like celebrity. It's about sexual assault.
I also know, I have never even heard of Justin Baldoni.
Wow, we actually had to have so this is, but you see, I think that means that when he didn't speak up, when Peter didn't speak up here earlier on, he was in the know. So when he isn't in the know about something, he will say so. I'm learning this.
Yeah, so
I have literally no idea who that is.
Falsely accused of sexual harassment while working on a film, and the film was being stolen from him at the time.
And the film was being stolen from him.
So essentially what happened is the New York Times was...
Hi, David. He can't stick around. Everybody say goodnight to David. Good night, David. Go sleepies. Sleep well. This kid is going to be pure and have his heart broken today. If not today, tomorrow.
complicit in putting out a hit piece about him that was disproven so quickly. And it was obvious that it was based on the...
remember when we spoke about the media on a Think, right? One of the things that I said, I made everybody talk about rumors in high school, and some people got irritated with me for making that comparison. But this is, when we did the misinformation discussion, this is how information moves between people. It happens on tiny micro scales in little micro communities and whatever, and then it happens on this larger scale. It's complicated no matter where it happens. Lies occur on all kinds of scales, and we just got to have our head on a swivel and be forgiving when other people believe lies. Just also understand that. I saw they created AI video of the bombing on Syria, if I'm not wrong, and it looked pretty legit. It was 10 seconds long and looked so real. Before we know it, there will be naked pics of me online. Yeah, you know what? Anybody, that is another scary thing about deepfakes is like, eventually, like I thought, okay, at least my tattoos would keep me from that sort of thing because they're complex enough. But I think AI will definitely just get to the point where it can replicate all kinds of things, and it's going to be indistinguishable. And when it comes to something like a war video, they're not usually very clear either. So you'll believe it. And even then, Wesley, when you encounter any tweets about what I do, when I encounter any tweets about any conflict, because we have so many to choose from these days, a lot of the time I just go into the replies to see if somebody has told me, if somebody has said, this is from like the other day, there was a video that was from 2015. It wasn't in Syria, it was in Iraq or something like that. It's all, even plane crashes. When there's a plane crash, people are like, yo, this is the video. They post it. I don't know how somebody does that. An individual, a whole individual. I guess they do it because they're getting money from X for their engagement, I suppose. Like, it doesn't matter. They still get paid when somebody is correcting them for spreading this lie. It's insane. Did AI figure out hands and feet already? It has. Some of them just aren't as good as others.
Relationship that they had. It was Ronan Farrow who put it out, who had a relationship with Taylor Swift. It's just
yeah, you see what they're doing here. So he's explaining it, but they're like, it's his argument, James's argument, little Jamesy, is just saying, well, it's celebrity gossip. It's like, no. I think it's highly probable that we're getting this kind of influence happening on all kinds of news, anything that we're told.
when we look at these institutions, I think what's happened in the last few years is people have, it's been like sunlight shining on a lot of things that we had.
I feel like it's always been this way. There's always been people going with their tinfoil hats and saying, look, it's a problem, they're lying to you. But I suppose we have more access to the proof.
Faith in, or people cared about celebrities more back in the day, or people trusted the media more. So we're kind of in this phase where I'm not going to say it's all going to get better for sure. It's going to be messy now.
Yeah, it's not celebrity gossip, it is a sexual harassment case, that is true. Has my camera died? What's wrong with you, camera? You are charged, you shit. Hold up, let me just pause it for a second. You good? You good? You good? Okay.
But we're kind of seeing behind the curtain. We're getting to see behind the curtain in a lot of different ways.
I saw the cam lag. It was really weird. Like, I saw my eyes closed. It's not picking up my blinks. It's making me feel like I'm migraine-y, because that's kind of how migraine works for me. Like, it's like a delay in everything. Okay.
I think that's good.
And it's like, it's a weird thing. I'm aware of my camera all the time. But at the same time, I'm not looking straight at myself.
Out of time. Go ahead.
Okay, so once again, I don't believe that, like, this celebrity issue, I don't know much about it. It seems very complicated if you're saying, like, this person was with this person, this person was... I think that that's not really an institutional issue. That's more of just, well, that was a mess and it got screwed up.
Oh, mommy. Okay.
So yeah, I think their credibility should take a hit for that, but I don't think that that's comparable to politics. I mean, you could say that they might have incentive to publish something, but once again, like...
Hug him, Peter!
When they publish something about politics, if they publish something totally wrong, like, there's the reason why they're the mainstream media and why they're not an alternative media source, and it's because they're held accountable by the rest of the journalism community.
All right.
Okay, so I think the idea of accountability is important. We can bring that out. Okay, he's saying, news sources that publish incorrect information should have their credibility suffer. And well, hello, we have tools like Ground News where you can actually, I was looking at, I was using it for not just the political news, like tech news and things like that. You could also, you can vote. They're also using that kind of idea of where you can say, alter this piece's bias. So you're adding to that. Your feedback is adding to it. I wonder, this is generating a lot of data, okay? I would really like for somebody to look into how it's working, how our behavior, people that use Ground News, how is it, what trends are happening? Are people really contributing to the system really well? And I think one of the things that you are getting by paying, by getting data from paying customers, at least then there is a layer of discouragement for lying. It's like, you're paying for this. But then again, people are stupid enough to pay to lie. Hello, we've got X for that reason.
Brett, come forward. You come forward, please. And you have...
Oh, look at him. You're so cool. You got your hands in your pockets.
3 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk is really mad that he's gotten community noted a lot.
Allotted? Hey!
So he just said that he might redo how they work, so...
How many people actually use Ground News? I think they're growing a lot. Maybe at the moment, because of how many sponsorships they've given up, maybe they are in an investment stage. I don't know if they're profitable yet. Yeah, but I think there is a free tier as well. Their illusion of popularity has, I mean, everybody knows about it. I would be interested to know how many users, and you would have to then, if they report that number of users, you would have to believe them. Because there's also the dead internet theory.
The fact that we don't even have that much, I don't know how much insight
Mr. Cool fucked up the dismount there. Creepy.
That he might... Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk is really mad that he's gotten community noted a lot, so he just said that he might redo how they work, so the fact that we don't even have that much, I don't know how much insight we'll have to the process is...
He's quite a fan of open sourcing things. Isn't Grok open source? So I would say that. We do have that kind of phenomenon. I want to read some research about open source. Okay. Open source behavior. Come on, somebody. If I can conceive of an idea, some graduate has done it, and I want to read about it. Shall we do a research stream tomorrow? A reading research stream? Nobody. It wasn't too bad, and the Nerd React stream actually got a lot of views. So maybe we do that. I am not a boy, but I am a man. Destiny needs to hits up his Ritalin dose. Maybe he's traveling. Poor boy.
Makes it questionable, and then also...
Okay, so he questions the community notes. Okay. Destiny. Questionable process. Behind community notes. Yeah, we also can't, Elon Musk's influence on how community notes works cannot be, it cannot be forgotten. It cannot be disregarded.
I feel like X is probably the most prone platform to...
Why is everybody covering their dicks in this debate? Because it's a gesture when you are feeling insecure. You will do that. You will cover your vitals. You'll cover your jugular. You'll go like this to protect your neck. You're going to protect your genitals. You're going to do all those kinds of things. I love me some body language.
The platform that's the most prone to spreading misinformation right now, and there's like, it's abundant and
See, also we don't know what to do with our hands, but also we feel nice and secure by holding our hands together over here because we're locked in, boys. The tension is held. This is why we need naked debating. Oh my gosh! Please, Gabriel, that is a great idea. I'm gonna ask Wick. Wick, do naked debating. Wick TV. He was practicing for moderation for tomorrow. He's got a debate coming up. This is me asking Wick to do naked debating. I'm not going to participate, but I think that's a great idea. Please consult with Gabriel for further details. Not sure what the alternative is. Clenched fists by your sides. You could do the old man thing and put your hands behind your back. That's also a nice. Attractive people would win. Attractive people would not win because they're not usually the smartest. That's our idea, right?
pervasive, and it seems like community notes aren't really helping with that. I think people like community notes because they see something, they're like, oh, it's good that this thing got fact-checked, but that's not good. That's like a corrective measure. It would have been better if the thing just wouldn't have been viewed at all.
Okay, Destiny, so what do you think about fact-checking? What do you think about fact-checking then? So he's like, no, he would prefer that thing people would prefer community notes. Notes equals corrective measure. Would prefer people didn't see it. You know what I would prefer is people didn't see your freaking insults to the dead children and the guy that got shot at a Trump rally. But you know, I know this is not related enough, but yeah, it's very funny that you want a very nice and pure online experience, but we're not going to get that, and you're part of it. Corrective measure, interesting. Corrective measure would have preferred for people not to have seen it. Sweet.
So
I think corrective measure's the right word. Trustworthiness is a really poor epistemic standard. What we want is a system of error correction.
I love you, Brett! Okay, Brett. Trustworthiness. I was also not very happy with the idea of trustworthiness. Trustworthiness is kind of like, I don't have to, I'm going to take it as absolute. It's beyond question, no matter what. Trustworthiness, that I'm just going to take it as it is. Yeah, I like his idea that it's not a good point. Trustworthiness. Actually, rather than trustworthiness. More important to have a system of error correction. One of my biggest things with error correction and even the old fact-checking thing is that when they are fact-checked and they are wrong, there is you are not immediately informed that the story has changed as a reader. On X, nicely so, when you have commented or liked a post and then it's changed, or it has been community noted, you get a notification right in there. Hey, we changed this. Now, obviously, with going to a website, whatever, it shouldn't be necessary that I give you my email so you can inform me when you were wrong. No, but the publishing of corrections it's not very loud. No, people aren't making a big stink when they change the facts. When the facts have changed, they don't go, we were wrong about this. They definitely won't do that because people will be like, oh, the credibility, oh, it's horrible. It's like, actually, in this day and age, maybe somebody who admits that they are wrong and gives you the correction should be more credible to you, because you're like, oh, well, if they do get this wrong, they will tell me. So the system of correction, I'm with you, Brett.
And so fact-checking is supposed to be a system of error correction of some kind.
Trustworthiness is not the only issue. The problem is people's tendency for confirmation bias. Yeah, and you need to try and rise above that as anybody who is giving people information, being a source of information. You need to be more aware. That is what we're supposed to get from journalism school or whatever. When you learn about reporting in school, that's what I learned. It was like they would give you a story and they'd be like, okay, you are a reporter, how would you report on this? Make sure that you are unbiased and blah 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 blah. You have to, there's responsibilities on all sides. The creator of the information, you need to understand that people are going to look for they're going to be looking for things that confirm their bias. Cool. So when you are wrong, when you do have something alternative, you have to tell them something they don't want to hear. But obviously that's not very good for profit. Hey Mo.
Now, if you have a single authoritative body, supposedly or purportedly authoritative body, like the New York Times, fact-checking stuff, you have this one voice, supposedly expert, trying to fact-check any number of things across any number of topics. The wonderful thing about community notes, from my experience, is that people will only get involved in the discussion, the things they want a community note, when they are interested in that particular topic, and a debate will go on until such time as something rises to the top or falls to the bottom, as you might think, about that particular issue. If it's scientific, a whole bunch of science nerds will get together and debate the issue about whether... Now, that's not to say that community notes won't produce error from time to time. It will, but at least it is some form of error correction better than what Twitter had previously, which was this designated set of experts, which was supposed to be across.
Well, yeah, they were just, what they would do, the designated set of experts would do what Destiny actually seems to say, is that, oh, it would be better that they didn't see it. So you're not even getting to engage in forming an opinion. You just have to always be given the opinion. You don't form it. We're not going through the process of forming. We're not going through the process of challenging. Nothing. And yes, human behavior, as Mo says here, that is human behavior. It's just human psychology. Most people do not engage in fiat comprehension, so they're not used to having a system of confirmation later. Fine, but we need to try and at least, I think the thing we can do is do the at least. Do the minimum. Or try push. Gramming my die? Yeah, WZ. Gramming your die.
All the different subject areas. Now, if you're interested in politics, get involved in the political community notes. If you're interested in history, get involved in that community note, and so on and so forth. So
you do get people on the internet that go, I am a marine biologist, and they're fucking trolls. They are horrible people. You would get that in the comments section of YouTube. I'm a this, I'm a that. Yeah, okay. Show me. So I guess this is where some people can argue for the new safety thing, where you would put your credentials into your YouTube profile, your X profile, all of this. Like here's my my PhD. I am a for real scientist. Hear me roar, essentially.
Different experts, or at least people who are interested in that area, are going to get involved in certain discussions. But
yes, sorry. How formalized are our experts? Okay, so here's also, I think, something to put in is the people engaging in community notes will have interest in the he's assuming, well, at least most of them, interest in the subject matter. Guys, an example is when we were talking about the 100 men versus a gorillas online. Okay, that's my example. I'm bringing this in here. When we were speaking about the 100 men versus one gorilla, everyone's like having their opinion and whatever, and then a zoologist or something comes in and they listen, I work with chimps and this and that, and we would all congregate around this person's feedback, because they know they're a primate specialist or something like that, so we're going to go and listen to what they have to say. So we went around, and yes, everybody had their opinion as a human being, Okay, and okay, it's mostly men had their opinions. But then you would find people that claimed the experts. Then the one guy that did claim he's an expert, he's like, listen, I'm an expert in this kind of animal over here, but based on what I know of animals, I'll tell you how this works. And yeah, we appointed the level of expertise quite informally without saying, hey, show me your diploma. Engaging community that's interested in the subject matter, experts are found. I will say also community notes isn't beyond error. It's just a good system.
As you say, there's going to be this problem of when people have a vested interest or when people have a certain strong political ideology, that might be a different kind of bias and political note that is going to be operating compared to someone who's community noted.
Is doubt useful? Yes, it is. But then there's also there are people that take doubt all the way to the other side of the field and believe nothing. Or believe the exact opposite because of doubt. They go, oh, this authority figure has given me this information, I must believe the absolute opposite. CC Dave Smith.
Being a scientific fact, let's say.
Let's say you had a heart problem and you had to choose between 5 doctors who were arguing amongst themselves with the best course.
Okay, no, now you are changing, you're moving the situation, right? So you had a heart problem. Me, I have my heart problem right here. Okay? Versus, hey, what's happening in Syria? Those are different. You're making a false equivalency here. You're using the same mechanisms. I understand. I love a metaphor that way, but this is not going to work out. I want to go to a doctor. You would go to a doctor, and guess what? Sometimes there's something called what? Another opinion. I'm going to get an alternative opinion. I'm going to get a second opinion. That's what you do. What about that?
The treatment was for you, or 50 people who were just interested in the topic, whose advice would you rather take?
Obviously the doctors.
So why does an authoritative body matter there, but it doesn't for like journalism?
Because
why does an authority matter? So let's bring Destiny out here. He's got the heart problem. Would you consult the community notes or the doctors? A lot of the time, actually, online, people will ask online about health issues, and then in the replies, people are like, bro, go to a fucking doctor. So people do ask that. Listen, we are WebMD experts over here, and Grok knows all my health issues essentially because I'm asking about them. So yeah, we ask about them before we go to the doctor. What I do with online information, access to health information, is I get the questions that I want to ask the doctor when I go. I will take the doctor at their word when I get to them, of course, but I use the information that's online to ask the right questions, okay? To have an understanding, because also I'm not going to be with the doctor for 2 hours while I'm obsessing about a certain question. Right, and also getting a second opinion happens. Heart problem, would you trust community notes or the doctors? So Brett's like, yeah, of course the doctors. His question is, why would you trust the institution? With that, but not at the journalism. Not when it comes to journalism. Okay.
There you actually have a set of experts that you want to go to who have expertise, but in the case of Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it.
You don't think for like journalism or understanding like domestic or international issues there can't be like expertise people?
I think
expertise people for analysis. There's people that immerse themselves. They are experts in that they immerse. This is what they do. They are specialists in that this is all they do and all they think about. Yeah. But that does not take away my participation in forming an opinion.
Journalists are especially poorly placed to fact check things outside of a very narrow area of expertise called journalism. But as soon
Yes.
as they start fact checking things like during COVID, suddenly they're all medical experts. When they're fact checking things in the economy, suddenly they're all like economic experts. I think journalists are really unreliable interlocutors when it comes to almost everything outside of journalism.
I think it would be better to say that journalism concerns itself with a certain window of life, and has certain it has a news cycle. Okay, it's a lot quicker. It's a lot faster paced than say the pace of medical innovation. It will be a completely different medical treatment, all of that. It's a slower pace. And yes, journalists they need to consult with experts when it comes to reporting on life. Absolutely. But yeah, it's different qualitatively when I have a heart issue versus me finding out what's going on in the rest of the world. That's basically my whole idea. But he's saying journalists are poor interlocutors, or anything other than journalism. I think this is easily dismantled, probably by Destiny. He'll be like, but it's their journalism is about reporting on the rest of the world, on all facets of life. So journalism can't say anything. You're saying journalism is unreliable altogether, for anything but journalism. Interesting.
Okay. I feel like these would just rest on empirical claims, because on both of those standards I would just completely and utterly disagree. I think that the non-journalist people spread more COVID misinformation that probably the majority of people here might even believe to this day, and that's just purely on non-experts deciding to offer up their opinion for political reasons.
Okay, so yeah, he did say during COVID. COVID journalists spread. Okay, and of course for Destiny, non-journalists spread misinformation during COVID. Okay.
Reasons.
So
And that information
I'll give you the last word.
that'll never be corrected or community noted out of existence.
Do you guys want 3 more minutes to carry this on, or no?
I just had one more point, which is couldn't I throw back to you, where would you go for your opinion about your heart troubles, the 5 expert doctors or the fact checkers at the New York Times?
The 5 expert doctors or the fact checkers at the New York Times?
Probably the 5 expert doctors, but the New York Times aren't recommending me medical treatments, but they've...
Okay, the New York Times aren't recommending me medical treatments. They're supposedly giving you what other doctors have said, haven't they? Remember during COVID, there were doctors that were saying different things to the mainstream. They were explaining things to us. They were saying this is how this works. The masks are not necessarily working in the way that has been sold to you. All of it. There were doctors. There were actual qualified doctors that were saying things. And then a lot of the time it was, hey, speak to your own doctor. And when you did speak to your own doctor, they themselves would give you a certain opinion that you would trust, right? It's your family doctor. You've been with them forever. And some of those family doctors were like, here's some ivermectin. And that was a problem. So, yeah, when it comes to medical advice, it seems like there is a high risk. The stakes are pretty high. And you could go wrong no matter who you listen to, it seems like.
Except in the case of COVID, yeah.
Except for what?
Except in the case of COVID, I think there was a whole bunch of...
In case of COVID, they were communicating how you're supposed to live your life. Bruh, I went to the freaking store with gloves on, with my freaking kitchen gloves on. I was so fucking scared. Okay? That was me. Why do I hate men? I don't hate men. I absolutely love men.
Fact checking that was going on in New York.
Well, actually, the only man. Scratch that. I love a certain man, and he is my husband. He's the best man.
Times when it came to
They were fact-checking claims, but generally it was the CDC.
But seriously, though, masculinity is pretty cool.
In the NIH, or you could listen to Joe Rogan. I mean, that was.
Or you could listen to Joe Rogan and the news and my government, who said you can't have closed shoes, open shoes. You can't buy them, and you can't buy the roast chicken, and you can't have. So you could listen to everybody.
It's the.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Destiny debates conservatives on abolishing the Department of Education. I'm tired. I don't want any more Destiny. Men are cute. Certain men, like my husband. NationalProgressAlliance.org. Brought to you by National Progress Alliance. Maybe I have some reading to do over there. But apparently, according to Destiny, these kinds of alternative places. Yeah. So let's have let's open all of our branches to fold and unfold. Okay. Fit map. Right. So we actually had 3 prompts here. Let's stop sharing. Right. We had 3 prompts here. We had Trump administration is engaging in censorship. So that was about them suppressing certain things by, not speaking to certain journalists. They've allowed alternative journalists into the press thing now. When you have Tim Pool in the White House, does he become mainstream? Is he alternative or mainstream then? If Amir Odom goes into the White House as a reporter or just as a creator. If I go to the White House, because I'm going to be invited. If I go to the White House to report or whatever, am I part of the press? Do I become mainstream? I think if I go enough, I'm going to be mainstream. I'm going to be considered mainstream. But yeah, so they're talking about, they landed up speaking too much about Trump himself and the way he's dealing with people. There was a lot of is he intimidating people into not speaking against him. I feel like people have tried to intimidate Trump anyway, so it's just the shit flinging goes all over the freaking place, and people got very scared when he said it's fake news, you're all fake news. And yeah, it seems like Trump himself just decides who is worth calling fake news at what time, okay, depending on what they say. It seems like we know this. Trump has a lot of power. He's not an aggressor. Sometimes tries to scare people. So yeah, I think I agree. He does try to intimidate people. Obviously, Destiny is a lot more upset with what's happening. For refusing to call the Gulf of America, he thinks that this is all dangerous. Soccer Dad over here was a bit more. He just views Trump with rose-tinted glasses, I would say. He's like he loves him some Trump, and people are just snowflakes when it comes to censorship. I think any administration will be doing what is good for the administration. So they will use their power because they are in power. They will do that to spin things absolutely in the way that they need them to be. They'll make it the best. They're not out here in the business of telling you how shit they are. No government is. Okay? So I feel like it's much of a muchness to talk about it. But yeah, when it's overt, when it's systematic, when it's so easily provable, maybe I'd be more upset. Okay, alternative media is a better way to understand what's actually happening than corporate media. No, I disagree with this. We had the fake news. Destiny does not want the basically, he just doesn't want the alternative media. Why? Because actually it's a failed experiment. He's very much that, yeah, cool, it just hasn't worked. There's been a lot of misinformation. You've got to have authoritative sources. He's okay with those. He did get a nice little surprise when he asked whether Fox lied, and Soccer Dad said, actually, yeah, Fox has lied to me, so I do believe in the alternative. Yeah, we've got the idea from Brett. Okay, Brett. Brett came in the first time. Brett, yeah, love Brett. He's suspicious of gatekeepers. He wants more information, and the more information, the better. We just need to learn to be more discerning with our sources of information. It's not beyond fault, but he prefers this. Destiny, on the other hand, is like, this, people are not capable. They're incapable of this. They need to, the trust needs to be built back up because people are misinformed. They're not good enough. So more of the same idea that we actually got in the first, what's the name? The first thing here is that we, no, actually not in the first. He started this off, sorry. We got more of this idea in, this idea of people are not smart enough. We need to give them the authoritative source, and that's it. We need to tell them what to believe because they're not smart enough to figure it out on their own. Whereas Brett wants the freedom to choose. And they went between different kinds of metaphors for this. Oh, you're choosing a university, choosing a textbook, how to finish your homework. So that whole thing of the benefits between alternative and mainstream happened here in this prompt, and then they basically continued that over here. We did get some other guys talking about community notes on X more trustworthy than New York Times fact checkers, so we did have that, somebody who believes the fact checkers more than community notes. Again, I come down into the middle where it's like I prefer having both. And again, going back to the idea of people have to build up the ability to figure out what is the closest to the truth, and but that don't ever assume that it's all that you know everything. I suppose that's the whole idea. The purpose of media to distract the masses, feed people lies, and make sure they do not awaken to their own divine right on this planet. Hey, Top G. Well, their own divine right on this planet, that is a personal thing you have to go through, which, speaking of which, that is part of a theme that is discussed in the Marcus Aurelius video, which I'm going to go and continue editing after the stream, which has come to an end, guys. What do you guys think of community notes? Do you think it's bullshit? Do we need community notes on all of our platforms? I think when this bit of discussion that we've just had here is going to become more relevant when we talk about internet safety, which is one of the topics we're going to be talking about this week on Thinkers. But that's later. That's later this week. We got more streams coming up before we get to that. Tomorrow, do we do more Boghossian? Or do I think a nice short one as well that we can do, because I like this idea of just getting through different topics one stream at a time. I want to go through, I promised last week that we would do a Joe debate. Joe got into it with somebody many moons ago. They argued with him about socialism or whatever. So it's a friend in an argument. I think it's pretty cool. We're going to go through one of those. I'm looking to do that with Charles on his channel as well, when we actually go in and see how he did in a disagreement. So yeah, tomorrow we're doing a South African focused discussion, and let's see what we do on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You just know that we have Thinkers on Friday morning, and we have Friday Slop on Friday. And after Friday Slop, guys, after Friday Slop, where we watch dash cams and all of that kind of stuff, I'll be gaming. So go and subscribe to my gaming channel. It is called That Don Kitty Games, spelled like this. Games like this. Okay. There you go. if you're watching on Twitch, there's nothing you need to do because every bit of content in our stream goes out to any streaming goes to Twitch, and it goes out on X as well. Right, boys and girls, what are you going to play? I'm going to play Monster Hunter because that is what I play. Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm very behind. Everybody's doing they're getting their bikinis and things like that because there's new events that are going on. Then there's me sitting there. I haven't done. I've just reached Monster Hunter rank 10. Everybody else is like on 200 whatever. So yeah, I need to game more, guys. I need to game more, but at the same time, this channel is already inundated with a lot of different kinds of content. I think we can chill with the gaming here and put it onto the gaming. Let me show you my gaming just quickly. I'll show you the gaming channel. It's my very, very, very old YouTube. So if I go to and it's really cool. I'm a whole gamer here. Like, I mean, look at this. Because I mean, I even have a cat face in my profile picture, and of course scuff incoming, because that's what happens. So yeah, we got games. There's Monster Hunt, 38 views, guys. We're doing great over here. So yeah, we'll get. This is old gaming stuff that you can go and experience over on my very old channel. 56 subscribers, yeah. Nice number. So yeah, there'll be more content on that one. Members, look out for the video. I'm gonna go and edit now. Have a nice life. Enjoy the outro music, courtesy of Creamage. Cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. Have a nice life. Actually, it will be tomorrow. Also tomorrow, sorry. Tomorrow we'll be going live at this time, essentially. Half an hour from now. We're not doing the early morning stream tomorrow because I've got other things going on. Wednesdays, I know I'm not supposed to stream, but I missed Monday. Pointers, put on your notifications. I am chaos. Let's go.
I'll see you next time, bro. Okay, thanks. Bye. We're squirky as fuck. Daisy's a menace, but we were having fun the whole time. I'll see you next time, bro. Okay, thanks. Bye. We're squirky as fuck. We're squirky as fuck. Daisy's a menace, but we were having fun the whole time. I'll see you next time, bro. Okay, thanks. Bye. We're squirky as fuck. We're squirky as fuck. We're squirky as fuck. Okay, thanks. Bye.